Is it live? That is the question we are asking today, chat room. What is good? Okay, I'm seeing one, I'm not seeing two. That's a problem. Because it's saying we're streaming, but I'm not seeing that. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Ring ding 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 ding. Alright. I'm disappointed because the the YouTube thumbnail isn't working, so hold on, I gotta... YouTube Studio. Wakanga. Content. Live right now. Details. Where do I change this bitch? Upload. None of these are what I want. There it is. Oh, that's a banger. Alright. Stream photo should be updated on the YouTube side. What's this video? Oh, that's Dr. Ivo Robotnik's theme from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Alright, let's get something straight. I have no clue what this Canto is about. I haven't seen anything. I'm going in completely blind. Oh yeah, and this is my team. The only reason I have this guy set as this is because it gives me extra shit. Yeah. Let us go to spring cultivation. Alright. I'll read everything out just for the sake of, you know, being proper. The hall was chill with Tensei, or with a Tensei. Fuck. How did I fuck it up already? Am I stupid? Oh, so is the stream working? No, it's not. Okay. So we have to go to display capture. That's cool. Fuck, I just closed chat. If you can tell, I'm not at all prepared to do anything. Oh yeah, we're not even listening to fucking Spotify right now, so we don't need it. Did I miss something? Fuck. Alright. And those present all sat in complete silence. Then there was Jia Yuanshun, with her lips slightly curled into a mirthless sneer. And at the center of it all sat Jia Jichun, unsure of what to say next. Well, are the voices on? No, voices are on. Why are there no voices? Oh, you know what? They probably have a bot gag later and fucking whatever. Well, everyone, Jia Yuanshun's seated next to the hierarch seat upon which Zichun. I'm so stupid. Oh my god. Smoothly takes control of the situation and begins the assembly. Honored heads of houses, lords of each family, their proxies, members, and she nods lightly, acknowledging our awkward presence. And little Zichun's guests, who stay here at RH Corp, seems to be extending without a foreseeable end. Isn't she technically from Q Corp? What's with her acting like she's any less of an outsider than we are? Yeah, did everyone catch that? Our H Corp? Regardless of everything else, the fact that she hijacked the meeting from the get-go is ridiculous, especially with Jia Jichun, the family hierarch herself, presiding over this official assembly. Clearly, she is using the pretense of assisting the hierarch to assert her own dominance over these proceedings. As we are all aware, the venerable former Jiamu has always discussed with and confided in me about the matters of the greatest import and the momentousness of which steered the very course of H Corp's prospects. Even after I departed the family for Q Corp, venerable former Jiamu has always written missives to confer such matters with me. Something about it smelled suspicious, but we'd already missed the window to challenge her to present us with proof without breaking decorum. Thus, as it naturally follows that I would be the inheritor of the venerable Jiamu's will, I shall be presiding over this regular assembly, which we convene now to discuss and determine the future of H Corp. What a grandiose and self-important introduction. It seemed clear to me that she considered herself to be the main character of this scene, or something. Your grace certainly befits your station, Lady Yuanchun. We are well impressed by your utmost dedication to the citizenry of Hongyuan despite your already saturated schedule. We can hardly thank you enough for your magnanimity, Lord Yuanchun. Ah, my parents. A true shame they couldn't be here. Have always sung praises of your expertise, Lady Yuanchun. Responses from the participants are just as protracted, only obsequious instead of arrogant. As heads of some of those houses were under investigation for consorting with the forces foreign to Hongyuan. Their vacuum was filled by their children's generation, many of whom we had the pleasure of meeting during the family hierarch war. Very well, then shall we welcome Jia Jichun, the next person to sit upon the seat of Yuanman's family hierarch. Greetings, I am... Now let us begin. For many years, all those who have gathered here have toiled day and night for the eternal prosperity and growth of H Corp. Jia Jichun's expression immediately sours as Yuanchun unceremoniously cuts off her self-introduction. First on the agenda for this assembly are urgent discussions and passage of new major policy items that have been tabled for far too long. Distributive contribution rights, auctioning policy, quarterly amnesty policy. Hold on, big sister Yuanchun. Passing the distributive contribution rights auctioning policy would allow the open auction for any remaining rooms the day before reconstruction days, and the quarterly amnesty wouldn't do anything but give unfair advantage to certain families and high net worth individuals by guaranteeing them large real estate assignments regardless of their performance in the previous quarter. Jia Jichun stutters a little, flustered, before continuing. My point is, these policies are going to rattle H Corp's economy the moment they go into effect. Besides, these policies were pretty much drawn to favor lining the pockets of a select few families and high-ranking officials of H Corp. If I may, Venerable Hierarch, lining the pockets? That is quite an odd turn of phrase to refer to the bare minimum of respect the society might repay to its highest contributing members, don't you think? Oh, before we continue, Jichun, I'm not entirely certain if you are aware, but ever since the ascension of the new family hierarch, the perceived value of Hongyuan has been racing to the for lack of a better word, rock bottom. Clearly, this demonstrates Hongyuan's concern and its lack of faith in the newly appointed family hierarch. Therefore, it naturally follows that our most urgent task at hand is to put a stop to this value and reputation freefall and restore prosperity and greatness to Hongyuan once again. Yeah, okay, and that's the family hierarch's job, right? Why are you... If you had perused H Corp's articles of association, you would have known that should H Corp be deemed to be in a state of crisis, the four great houses and the board of directors' voice may also carry de facto power in the assembly. And the board of directors, that's us, has determined that we are now in a state of crisis. State of crisis? What crisis? Everything that led to my ascension to the family hierarch was legitimate, down to the final approval. These unseemly rumors and slander are taking our value, which we have built up assiduously through years upon years of toil. So what is this, if not a state of crisis? And who wouldn't doubt the new family hierarch's qualities when this decline has coincided precisely with our ascension? Jia Yuanchun was somehow turning the room against Jichun, without presenting a single shred of evidence, portraying her as some burdensome hierarch who was single-handedly tanking H Corp's value. No one in the assembly, and not a single representative from enemy families present, stepped up to point out how Jia Jichun's swift actions were what finally repelled the outside forces that had marched right up to Hongyuan's front yard. or how she deftly maneuvered her forces to quell the embers of war by quickly taking control of the chaos within Dagwanyuan. She hadn't shown any glaring signs of incompetence since her ascension, despite her relative inexperience, but everyone in Hongyuan's board of directors, the heads of each family, averted their eyes as though all of that had somehow inconceivably slipped their minds. So you take yourself to be a qualified individual for that responsibility, Jichu. Very well, then. Very well. Then proceed. We're all waiting for you to begin your briefing before the assembly regarding the last 30 years' quarterly net revenue records for Hongyuan singularity-related businesses, your calculations on next year's fiscal debt forecasts, and the exact recipe and variation numbers for the boluses that have been registered in the last 5 years. That's, The Venerable Hierarch has not received that data prior to the meeting. You must all be aware of the chaos that has followed the Ascension. We are still indexing all available materials Isn't that funny? Not once in the history of Hongyuan has the family hierarch ever failed to provide immediate and detailed answers regarding Hongyuan's historical statistics. Yuan Shun must have known all along too. She must have known how the previous family hierarchs were all directly supplied with an immense repository of information through the Jianhuang Worm or something of the equivalent. And she's using it to target Jishun's weakness, knowingly asking questions she, the first family hierarch without the enamel worm, couldn't possibly answer. The responsibilities tied to the venerable seat of hierarch Jiamu are matched only by the great power bestowed upon it. Thus, how are we to leave the matters of the wing to someone who is so evidently unprepared for the task? Given the present circumstances, our hands may be forced to call the vote the motion of no confidence. The motion of no confidence? A motion of no confidence, when passed by the high-ranking political officials, can result in the removal of the chief executive from office. So they're going after Jichun's power. So this is the picture Yuanshun wanted to paint. Impotent family hierarchs stammering and stumbling through a first meeting to the total and near unanimous lack of support from the H-Corps board of directors. Whatever jargon they're on about, seems to me they've got not an ounce of respect for the lass or us. Never trust twats overly obsessed with numbers and optimizations. We're the first ones to kick you out the moment they no longer see you as useful. You're not the only one who's pissed off, so can you please stop shaking your leg for a second? You don't need to make our frustration any more obvious, you know. My arse would have left the chair a long time ago if it weren't for this lass. In H-Corp, should the board of directors unanimously vote in the favor of the motion, certain parts of the family hierarch's power will be removed. It is entirely possible that she will become a hierarch in name only. Oh, so they're threatening to fire her unless she falls in line. This is some needlessly convoluted way to... The Assembly will now consider the motion of no confidence. Are there any objections to bringing the motion of no confidence against family hierarch Jiajichu to the floor? Hold on, the vote of no confidence isn't an item you can invoke so lightly. The Shi family has no objections. Let's say the Wang family has no objections either. Zhui family too. The arrest of the previous family head seems to have changed precisely nothing. Those in power wore more youthful faces, but their tongues still carried the same old resistance to change. The new family heads were just as uncooperative as ever, and everyone seemed to be solely interested in staying in Yuanshun's good graces. New faces, same old. Needless to say, Heathcliff wasn't the only sinner fuming with rage. It is far too vexing to simply watch and do not. Right? I knew you wouldn't let this slide, Don Quixote. They're walking all over Jichun like she's not even here. Forsooth, we cannot let such injustice transpire unabated. Hey, seems like we're both on the same page. That's it. I'm not going to hesitate to make myself heard again. This time, I want to be courageous. With your help, Don Quixote. Come on, let's do this. Together. Okay? Very well. I am in agreement. Yeah. Then let's go on 3 at the same time. If there are no objections. 1, 2... The Assembly will put this resolution to vote in a month, and 3. Here, objection! Bloody hell. Wait, have you gone mental? Sinclair stood tall at the center of the entire room's undivided astonishment, alone. Eh? Don Quixote, still firmly in her seat, gazed upon Sinclair's proud stand and rubbed her nose. Young Sinclair, thou hast evolved indeed. What an unmitigated pursuer of justice thou hast become, with such unrelenting fervor and utter disregard for decorum. Certainly, mine efforts have finally borne fruit. What the hell? Did Don Quixote or Heathcliff suddenly rub off on you or something? No, wait, no! What happened there, Don Quixote? We were going to— what happened to objecting together? Oh? I had taken thy suggestion to mean that we must voice our dissatisfaction through the official channels, borrowing the titles of the illustrious Red Gaze in the Department of LCC. Disputes in succession of power on such a high level of government are hardly ever resolved with rash grandstanding. Wouldst thou not agree? Why are you normal all of a sudden? Lad, what just happened? What happened to the clammy meek boy? Well, that's— I guess I just assumed that this is how Limbus Company rolls now. There seems to have been an unexpected outburst from Jichun guests. Withdraw your objection, and we will consider this a momentary loss of control and not enter it as an official statement. Sinclair's eyes were shaking like someone with his life on the line. If not, I take it that you have full confidence in her abilities. So please, I encourage you to elaborate. When and how will Jijun demonstrate her aptitude for the responsibilities of the family hierarch? His voice continues to shrivel into a corner. He can't. And how could anyone? How could anyone when we all had a very clear view of her path to ascension? During the family hierarch evaluation, Jia Baoyu donated the coins he received from Jia Chu to you. Essentially, you pity-partied your way to victory. Pity-partied? And for your ascension, Jia Chu, and those outsiders from an upstart company had to almost literally carry you to the seat. Has there even been a single victory attained by your own hands in that entire process? Ah, but have we not all been witness to the qualities she exhibited during family hierarch evaluation and her own ascension? You must not have shame. You must have no shame snaking your forked tongue in the audience of both heaven and earth like an unwitting buffoon. That's when quiet, even footsteps broke through Xie Yuanshun's merciless dismantling of Xie Zhichu. Yet, I see the point. The hierarch, with her grace, needs only demonstrate her already established qualifications before all. This is no place for an outsider to speak, but proceed. Just how will she prove herself before us? What an odd statement coming from a fellow outsider who's been chattering for minutes on end. Forgive me, I could only presume from your verbosity that the right to speak in this forum was open to all outsiders. You have said it yourself now, that the vote of no confidence resolution will proceed in a month. That seems to give the venerable hierarch a month to regain the trust of each family. What? It is rather clear to me that there are many who find their own defeat in the family hierarch war difficult to accept. Such a doubt is easily resolved. A match between clans should lay out the results quite obviously. Very well. A fair challenge between clans, which would prelude the participation of the family hierarch's Haishao packs and the Jianlan guards. So you would remove her Pao and Zhu right before the game even begins. Why not make this test a series of sparring matches in both academia and martial arts if such the case? What audacity. Do you truly have that much faith in Jia Zhichun's abilities? You must know the consequences of failing these matches now. It would be a unanimous, one-sided end to the vote of no confidence, and naturally any and all rights appertaining to the family hierarch shall be transferred to the board of directors. That is fine by us. You are free to choose any champion who you see fit. Unfortunately, your underlings don't seem to share your inflated confidence. But in the midst of the confused, flabbergasted silence from the other sinners, A clear, carefree, yet defiant voice rings out. Hong Lu's retort. That's not true at all, big sister Yuan Shun. We actually have just as much confidence in Jishun as she does. His wide eyes stare directly and unblinkingly into Yuan Shun's. It occurred to me that this might be his way of expressing anger. Child, how dare you stare me down like that? Then you are welcome to try. 1 month. You have but 1 month to prove before all in audience that she is indeed fit to be the family hierarch. Should you fail, the vote may as well be a mere formality. In other words, should she successfully prove herself, none of you shall again rightly challenge the independent rights and powers bestowed upon the family hierarch. The consequences of such recalcitrance shall be no different from those that the traitors are facing, wouldn't you agree? Well then, we will excuse ourselves now. Wait, I'm... Zigong turns around toward us with that same mysterious smile and slowly directs us outside the assembly hall. We may call them sparring matches, but you must know that each and every one of them is a test to prove your claim to the seat of the family hierarch. A month is a time far too brief for drastic improvement, regardless of for whom it may be. Learning from a proper master for 10 months straight might teach you a few things, but who knows how long the search for one such master might take. Not to mention the official channels through which you must bring them past Daguanwan's walls, which may take up to 2 months. Not relent now and relinquish but a part of your powers as the family hierarch to the board of directors. It seems that this fellow outsider's mental faculties are impressively lacking. My lord has spoken in the past that, when in the presence of 3 people, at least one of them is bound to be a teacher of mine. And here they are, aren't they? Jichun's masters, each carrying something new to teach her. All 13 of them. Ziyong gestured confidently towards the flabbergasted sinners, and the assembly came to an end. Okay. So we're getting, like, smoked immediately. Like shit. Also, I love this music. It's so fucking goofy. I love it. Alright, next. We were planning to train Jichun anyway, but it seems that we are now under unexpected deadline. Hey, when you said the LCB was going to help me out, did you guys mean that you were going to publicly humiliate the crap out of me at the assembly? Of course not, Jishu. Big sister Yuan Shun's an old snake. You've just given her 30 days to set the perfect stage for my downfall, to prove to the world once and for all that I'm not qualified at all to be the family hierarch. But Jichun, weren't you always so good at humbling anyone who dared underestimate you? Not so much anymore. Back then, like an idiot, I just thought I had to hold on with everything I had. Thought that's all I ever had to do, but now... Now, things are different. It's true that I'm vastly underqualified to be the family hierarch, and she's right. I pretty much lucked into this position. Jichun, don't tell me that woman's bullshit actually got through to you. Well, she wasn't completely wrong, right? I'm just some kid who happened to be just good enough to survive some traps and ambushes. I'm afraid that the responsibility of a family hierarch might be too much. Your self-confidence has significantly decreased compared to the observation from our previous interaction. The heck, Jichun? I don't remember you being this kind of character. What happened to the girl who looked down on us the moment we met? You even had the audacity to pretend not to know who we were, didn't ya? Where'd all that confidence go, girl? That actually got under her skin back then, huh? So Jichun, what do you want to do? Are you sure you're okay with this? Are you okay with letting this happen? If I let it happen, Big Sister Yuan Shun is going to continue expanding her influence here. I'm sure she and the board of directors have been cozying up to each other for a long time. Is the implication that her testaments on her influence were true? Yep, it's true. Before she left for Q Corp, big sister Yuan Shun used to always accompany Jianmu to these assemblies. If we just let them hold the vote of no confidence, they're going to unanimously vote against me and slowly reduce the family hierarchy's scope of power. Who knows? They might even call for a reevaluation, however unlikely that sounds. Besides big sister Yuan Shun, I think her definition of Hong Yuan's prosperity might be different from mine. What she's looking for is an H-Corp's prosperity. It's Dag Yuan Yuan's. Dag Yuan Yuan's. That's so hard to pronounce. Like, God damn, yeah. And I know that this all has something to do with its ties to Q Corp, which I bet has already been going on for a while just under my radar. I'm sure they've already had plenty of talks behind my back. Which is not the kind of vision you have for Hong Yuan's future, right? That's why you spoke up against her? My vision for Hong Yuan is... I want to change H-Corp to be the kind of place where people can live without fear. I just never imagined I'd have to prove myself like this in only 30 days. Even then, your vision hasn't changed, right? It hasn't. Great, great. So it's decided then, huh? We just need Fao to deliver the bad news to Saad. So, to summarize, the responsibility of training Jitun to win these matches, I mean these amorphous tests upon which hinges the family hierarch's fate, and almost every facet of which is entirely under Jia Yuanchun's control, by the way, is probably a trap within the next 30 days is ours. And we have to explain that to Saad. Wow, that sounds like a lot of work when you put it like that. Post-mortem reports have become quite rote. Prithee, that must impress... Wait. Oh my god, the Dr. House gif is still there. Holy shit, how did I not notice that? Did we just leave it there? I think we leave it there. Ugh, shit. Prithee, that must impress upon the illustrious red gaze that wasn't mine idea this time. Sinclair stared blankly at Don Quixote as she made her desperate plea towards Sal. Yes, and I understand that as well, for the 8th time. As always, Saud was wearing the same refreshingly incomprehensible smile. The kind of smile that makes people increasingly anxious the longer it lasts. Well, that gives us about 30 days, during which those sparring matches, tests, whatever, will be happening as well. Great then, let's give it our best. Sinclair mutters in an ear whisper, clearly feeling responsible for what happened. Yes, I understand. I never should have stepped out of line like that, but something just... Yeah, so let's give it our best. I totally agree. We messed everything up again, and... What? Limbus Company was always going to remain here and assist Miss Jichun acclimatize herself to the responsibilities of family hierarchy. It was always a part of our plan. Well, I sure am glad I took Faust's advice about how meticulous planning is completely pointless when it comes to LCB's missions. I never would have had to submit 9 separate disciplinary incident reports during the J-Corp incident had I known. I believe that I should be able to explain this further. Prior to his departure, my lord was concerned that such a thing would come to pass. That is why he has left Zilu and I here to look after the new family hierarch's position, which must still be on rather thin ice. Oh, so that's what they were privately talking about when he pulled them aside. Doing nothing and allowing her wicked machinations to progress would have irrevocably made the entire board of directors not but putty in Yuan Shun's hand. And that would have led to that snake to de facto assume the seat of family hierarchy. Against such an insidious foe who wields intrigue as her weapon, the most viable strategy is the most direct one, to challenge her head-on. Besides, has this not given you the excuse you needed to prolong your company's stay in Dagyuanyuan? This is also a prime opportunity for Jia Jichun to further solidify her influence here, depending on the outcome of the vote of no confidence. They played right into our hands by accepting this deal. So, I don't want to rain on everyone's parade, but are we not even going to consider what might happen if we fail? No, we are not, because you will not fail, not with us aiding your efforts. Also, were you serious back there when you said that we were all going to teach Jijun, all 12 of us? I won't object to selecting only a few of us with better aptitude to be educators. Ah, by the way, we already have an established internal hierarchy based off the sum of our each of our abilities. Of course, the results were entirely to my satisfaction due to an unexpected incident. Miss Otis, that is a statement mired in narrow division rife with factual refractions. I am of the stance that the qualities of a good teacher are not defined by such statistics. So you must be the one who placed last in that scale. Just don't say anything, bud. That's not to stand out like a sore thumb. I may have overreacted then. My lord has said that from the virtuous we may learn to replicate their merits, from the flawed we may learn to avoid their failings. As long as the student is willing to learn, anything can be a teacher. I also, to embrace this teaching, seek from those who we come across. Just what in the heavens are you doing? Aha! I am preparing a lesson plan for young Jijun, our family hierarchy. Wow, you sure got that one fast. So what are these yellow wormy things here? Aha! 'Tis a star! Twinkle twinkling in its radiance. According to this schedule you have prepared, the student would have -3 hours available for sleep. This lesson plan's execution will require cooperation from T-Corp. Yeah, would be a mistake most fatal indeed. I shall correct it post-haste. Zigong was staring at Don Quixote's expression of her wild artistic merit upon the curriculum with her unusual crescent moon eyes. Wait, is that supposed to be Zigong's grimace? Of course. Each to their own, I suppose. I need not be shaken by every little thing until we have the actual lesson plans in hand. Hey, thanks for putting your faith in us, Zigong. We barely have any of that to go around ourselves, so I understand that couldn't have been easy. You could say that. I have learned my lesson. The recent events have taught me that the path of learning is truly one without end. Sorry, I'm futzing with caps in my hand. Oh, fuck. Okay, 3 caps in my hand. Holy shit, there's so much reading! I was hoping I'd get to fucking play the game. Alright. I see that you have all individually worked on your lesson plans as per Zigong's request. Oh? You can't see it, but I'm giving her the look. I received a total of 12 lesson plans. Hold on, shouldn't there be 13 of them? Even the executive manager has decided to spare their precious time to teach a class. Huh? Yeah, I handed in my lesson plan too. That is because, so who didn't do their homework? After a brief silence, everyone turned around and looked at one of the sinners. It ain't me. Oh please, at least try to make a compelling argument. Who else other than you could it possibly... It's me. Do you think? You've been acting out of character a lot recently. What's going on? Well, that's, Sinclair was drenched in sweat for some reason. Actually, in Sinclair's seat was a large stack of papers, each filed to the brim with writing. Filled. Sinclair, are these papers? Yeah, I'm done. Sorry, I got too into making a lesson plan and just couldn't stop myself from writing. Whew. Sinclair couldn't have appeared more proud as he placed that big bundle of sweat-soaked papers in Zulu's hands. And she receives it with mild trepidation. You seem to have dedicated quite the momentous effort in drawing up this lesson plan. What's up with her? Let's start reviewing from the first of the stack. 108. Analytical approaches to aesthetics. What does AAA mean, and how do you plan to explore 108 approaches in a month? Appreciation of artistry and assassinations. F you went too far. Ah, right, sorry. Flip a page and continue reading for those 108 approaches. What paint did you use? It's quite viscous and the paper is partially melted. Ah, lady, watch yourself. You almost got some on my arm. Aha, a painting. Zelu? And entrails coating the world. Now you know how aesthetes appreciate the artistry of slaughter. Just what the hell did you paint in that paper? Hey, get it together! Zelu stumbled briefly. Whatever was on the paper must have given her quite the shock. Ah, my mind wandered for a moment. This is too dangerous to be used for a lesson, thus it goes to the discard pile. Weak sauce. Zelu crumpled up the paper without hesitation and tossed it out of sight. Next. Intro to Societal Reintegration. Impressive title. Chapter 1. How to shake hands with your left hand when the situation calls for it. Chapter 2. Exploration of exclusively long-sleeved fashion and practices. I like that Gregor just appears in the background. Projecting confidence and why having a bug arm is totally cool. That's, you know how it is. Be proud of who you are and all that philosophy stuff. I wanted this lesson to give a bit of a paradigm shift where we can all come out to see our flaws, not as failings, but as evidence of our individuality. Which will usher in a world where we can carry on with our lives, no matter what kind of arm we have. Discard. Next. Zelu quickly flipped through the pages. Intro to Denigrative Linguistics. Subheading. The power of words. Sticks and stones may break their bones, so let's add words to the pile. That's pretty good. My credentials include the ability to dress down an opponent so hard that they fall to their knees and beg me to stop. You don't say. I have plans for application as well. The lesson teaches methods pertaining to disguising compliments and criticisms and vice versa. All of this seems rather difficult to learn. I have concluded from my hitherto observations that Jie Chun is an individual of great promise in this field. Follow my instructions to a T, and I guarantee you that this cadet shall be able to have the upper hand in any verbal confrontations. Is this a curriculum to make the best brawler or the best family hierarch out of me? Zelu seemed quite interested, but Jie Chun's vehement veto eventually overruled the suggestion. On Justice, another impressive title. Subheading, Methodologies of Captivating an Entire Room of Preoccupied Audience. Discard. Fie on thee! Wherefore? Next. Practice of ego splitting concerning intermirror conflict between the self and the reflection and paradoxically fractured theory of idealism in which one attempts to open an unopening door to open the door. Utterly incomprehensible. Discard. Perhaps Miss Ryoshi's advice to truncate the lesson title should have been taken in earnest. Survival and exploration. 21 reasons to pay attention when the exploration team leader is giving advice on the upcoming adventure. Case study for 30 horrible mistakes that occurred back when the team was distracted during the leader's lecture. How to track down a troublemaker who tries to sweep trouble under the rug while his team leader isn't looking. Someone ignored my advice that we should have been moving 2 steps ahead. Finally, I've narrowed them down to 3 culprits. Oh wait, I forgot to take that part out. And into the shredder it went. When did that paper shredder get here? The art of using yawning as a cover for popping a cookie or 2 into your mouth, especially useful when getting lectured. If you get good enough at it, you can do that with nuts too. Aha, so it was you who made those crunching noises at our last meeting. What? Nah, did you take me for an amateur? The art of social maneuvers, how to let it flow through you. How to not make things awkward when you walk right in on someone bad-mouthing you. The most important part of this art is to flash a refreshing smile in a way that looks earnest. It helps when you convince yourself that smiling is what brings good fortune. Smiles have a way of disarming people, giving them pause and making them hesitate. I remember that. Big Bro used that technique to confuse a lot of Dagyuan Yuan people who hated him. I see. This... I can't quite bring myself to throw this into the shredder. Next, how to remain in complete stillness for a week until the next command is received. This lesson plan was designed based on Rodian's advice that I must prioritize strengths that are unique to myself. Look, in my defense, I didn't know he considered that to be his unique strength, okay? Let us consider whether standing in complete stillness for a week is a quality one might seek in the family hierarchy. This one is certainly interesting. What separates bravado from bravery? Jack shite, sawed off and grab your weapons. Yep, always gotta read the full print. Ha, it's my philosophy that reason don't necessarily need to be considered before coming to blows. Martial prowess is indeed an indispensable part of the family hierarch's qualities, but our focus is not on developing a hierarch of a syndicate. Next, information disparity as a driver of inequitable treatment. Oh, huh, that's actually the most interesting sounding one so far. And the application of engineering frameworks. Okay, it's kinda losing me, but I'm still on board. For systematic resolution in rational self-interest driven societies. And is it still going? That was 1/5 of the full title. It seems that the same trouble has hindered both you and I. Every word in that title was added for its absolute necessity. Indeed, indeed. After she had gone through the majority of our lesson plans. Finally. Now that that's over, yes, it's finally my turn. Phew. Sinclair sighed with the gravitas of someone who had just been bestowed with the most important mission in his life. Thinking back, even in school I used to daydream about becoming a teacher myself. I thought I could be good at it. So I guess you could say that I'm pretty happy to be given an opportunity like this. I call it my lesson, the theory on self-overcoming. We have to accept that everyone stumbles at first, but by always striving to be a better person than I was yesterday. Hey, but what if I like who I was yesterday more? That's okay. Everyone has their own unique potential sleeping deep inside. So with everything I've learned and experienced so far, let me teach you. Let me teach you how to not doubt your own capabilities. How to always shoot higher. Hold on. You had me for a second there, but what's up with acting like you're an infinitely more enlightened person than I am? Ah, of course. I've prepared a speaking class where you can learn how to speak with modesty, too. I never would have imagined Sinclair would be this into it. Yeah, too bad he's too into it that he's not even listening to what Ji-Chun's saying. Following that, your company's... it seems that Zaylu's completed her review. Oh, I see. Now how's everything going, everyone? Class prep go well? My curriculum most especial! Okay, so that's a no. That was Saudi's impression upon taking a quick glance at Don Quixote, who was sobbing and cradling the shredded pieces of her lesson plan in her hands. Well, it wasn't a complete bust, at least. Sinclair's lesson plan survived. Miss Zigong, Miss Saad, I've prepared a full 30 days worth of lesson plans. Would you like to take a look? But Zigong and Saudi weren't looking at the dozens of lesson plans Sinclair presented so proudly before their eyes. They were looking away. Zigong especially was looking away with an unmistakable expression of pity. So he doesn't know. Would you mind explaining this, Zaylu? I could not bring myself to tell him. Apologies. So this young man produced this entire sizable stack of lesson plans all on his own. See, weakness has found its way into your heart in the face of such earnest effort. I understand. However, it has been decided that Sinclair will not be participating as one of Ji-Chun's teachers. Or should I call you pupil Sinclair to be exact? Haha, this has gotta be a mistake, right? Isn't Ji-Chun the pupil here? No, there haven't been any mistakes. My lord has specifically instructed that you are to learn from this as well. What? What? Seriously? This isn't right. Guys, this isn't right. Now this looks like a proper classroom. Excuse me. It would have felt pretty dang empty with just Ji-Chun sitting there all on her own, don't you think? Besides, I bet Sinkstar is an expert on going to schools, right? School is a luxury for me, you know? Yeah, maybe, but that doesn't mean I ever want to go back to school. You should learn to be grateful. I don't dole out my teachings to just anyone. Don't forget, we have to redo the whole lesson plan under their supervision. Otis, you always get on your soapbox and try to lecture everyone about something after every single battle anyway. And you, Ishmael, you always get hyper-fixated on something. Once you find something interesting, you never stop talking about it for 3 hours at least, and... I will ensure that you receive the best education I can provide, Sinclair. Hold on, Yiseng. I thought we were the underdog duo. Remember during the checkup when I said we got this? We were going to get this together. The evaluation painted a twisted picture of the true scale of strength, the sole measure of which erroneously relied entirely on physical might. I shall not hesitate to impart knowledge for those who require education. Congratulations, my lady. You have found yourself a desk mate. Which some also call a bestie, depending on desk placement. Deskmate? Bestie? What the heck does any of that mean? Huh? Ji-Chun's eyes widened with confusion, as though she just heard those words for the first time in her life. When I first met her when she was 16, she explained to me that she hadn't attended any school-like institutions. This is par for the course for children of Hongyuan, who were raised for the purpose of becoming the next family hierarch. That reason being that schools can be a perfect place to assassinate someone. Alright. So, deskmates and besties. Sinclair began to explain, seemingly resigned to the fact that he is essentially going back to school for a month with the other sinners as his teachers. Usually sit next to each other and help one another out. A bestie might nudge the other awake when they doze off, share their homework with one another if one forgot to do theirs. They usually end up being included in the best memories of each other's school time. So not very important at all, huh? I think I got this on my own. I don't need a bestie. It may have come a few years too late, but I am moved that my lady finally has a chance at experiencing school. Same here. I remember it like it was yesterday. Ji-Chun would sit and watch other kids walk to school from a distance, tears welling in her eyes. Dude. Oh, that reminds me. One day, out of nowhere, she started saying something about eating from lunchboxes with friends. I haven't a clue as to how or where she even heard about it. But she snuck into the kitchen and... wait. Don't you guys have a lesson plans to write? Come on, hurry up. 30 days are ticking down. We've only got 30 days. Of course. Unfortunately, I've become quite occupied with another task of great importance, assisting Wei in indexing and reviewing various documents that are in critical need of organizing. Thus, I must leave the lesson planning task to you two, Zulu and Miss Salad. Have you any thoughts on this matter? Slacker. What was that? I said nothing. Will something interesting happen now? That's a new icon. That's slightly concerning. Oh, it's all free. Wait a minute. None of these costing Keflon. I'm gonna pop a node, and we're gonna head here. Let's see how this goes. Zilu and Saudi appear to have aged several years overnight, their faces sunken and sallow. Finally, after referencing... Oh shit. After referencing the idiosyncrasies and various statistical data available to us regarding each center, we managed to come up with an appropriate curriculum. Miss Zilu? Apologies. Sleep deprivation has relieved me of clear mind. The path of an educator is truly a grueling one. Marching to battle would be much easier. Still think Mr. Jiuchu's methodology you shared, we did manage to find a way to make this quite efficient. Efficient, huh? To be a true family hierarch, there are dozens, hundreds of virtues one must understand and master. However, to do so in 38 days, as promised is an implausible effort. Thus, we have categorized the countless virtues into 3 super categories. And they are called... what are these supposed to be? Ji, Young, and Ren. Or is it Je? I don't know. Je, wisdom, the wise lose neither people nor words. To hold one's silence in need of speech shall cost them people. To speak in need of silence shall cost them words. A reusable sequence of logic. Young, Young, no, Young, I don't know. Courage, the ability to overcome fear, to act decisively. Have too much of it, and risk becoming a brute. Have too little, and risk becoming a craven. It needs harmony and balance. So how far are we allowed to go with corporal punishment again? I recall no instance of any discussion regarding corporal punishment. And therein, humanity is the benevolence of the heart, the compass of behavior that dictates respect towards every human. Clearly most of the faculties of this school are severely lacking in all 3 of your criteria. So how do you think they'll be able to teach the students anything? Yeah, like a certain someone who needs a lesson in Ren. Are you sure I'm in good hands? Just what the heck am I supposed to learn here? Where's Wei? Master Wei and Miss Egon are currently quite preoccupied with handling the monumental task of paperwork. Ah, right. Mr. Wei wanted me to deliver this message to you. Be strong, my lady. Wei! Despite her protestations, the 30 days of class has commenced. Alright, so what now? What? No. Are we playing fucking Needy Streamer Overload? What the fuck is this? No, shut up. Oh my god. It's a mandatory class. Okay, well. Sure. My name is Yi Sang. That is all. The class I have prepared for the day. Aha! I've heard plenty about your mirror tech. Which makes me wonder, going by the level of advancement in that technology, couldn't you have approached it from a different angle? You know how technological advancement usually goes. People invent for the sake of creation, only to have their inventions inevitably warped into weapons of destruction. Indeed, you show much promise already. As you surmise now, the mirror has in the past almost been employed to shatter possibilities instead of reflecting them. I'm sure that's the angle most others wanted to see happen. Removal of potential risks sounds much more palatable than potential itself to some people after all. Correct again. Yet destruction was a word that bore too much suffering for my heart. My sole egress from it was abandoned for my quantum fellows and my life's work, making myself a fugitive from the past. How'd you bring yourself to just abandon it all? I conversed? With who? With myself. That lies within me. As you are aware, Mirror's reflection extends beyond the veils of our own reality. Why the fuck am I yawning so much? Holy shit. I need to like punch myself awake or something. If I hit myself in the nuts, I might wake up. It might work. But I don't think I'm gonna hit myself in the nuts. I'd prefer to have children. Anyways, it reflects the potentialities, the latent strength in the world. Yet even among them, the reflection of the greatest importance is that of the self. Let not the innumerable... Motherfucker! Why do I keep yawning? Let not the innumerable words of the mirror enchant your gaze. First, one must direct their studies inward and reflect upon oneself. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. Now, if you are prepared, do explain what you see in the mirror. You needn't haste. For some reason, Ji-chun appeared to hesitate before the mirror. Hey, you know, it's been a while since I looked into the mirror for so long. My lady, do you recall Sunzun of the Shi family who contacted you for a meeting? Yeah, the guy who said he was going to show me a precious flower that blooms only at night. I remember that you said you're vehemently against me going out there, so I stayed inside. Wonder what kind of flower it was. Don't tell me you were actually looking forward to meeting him, my lady. Oh, of course not. You were wise to stay inside. It was revealed that you weren't the only person who was invited, my lady. That vile man had hired a group of assassins to ambush the meeting spot and would have been waiting there to spring the trap had you gone. But apparently he was outplayed and had his limbs and head torn off as punishment. What a relief, isn't it? I guess. I'm glad I didn't go away. You were right. If only you still had the Wu branch under your control. Stop it. We agreed to move on from that, remember? We don't have to talk about it. I was brushing my hair and looking in the mirror as we were talking, but I realized that I no longer recognized the girl in the mirror. I don't know why, but I just found it so hard to meet her eyes. But I brushed it off because I had to. An experience like that was going to be a common occurrence anyway, and the family hierarchy war was always looming on the horizon. Perhaps what you felt then may have been shame, but it is paramount to face oneself nonetheless, nay, especially so if it was. And Sinclair, what do you see? I see, well, I just see myself smiling. I don't see what's so out of the ordinary. But it seemed like Sinclair couldn't really bring himself to face the mirror. Hey, after what we just discussed, I think I understand something now. Now that I've had some quiet time looking at my reflection, I think I uncovered a part of myself that I've had hidden away for a long time. I had a very precious time learning to converse with my inner self. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking in the mirror. Class metaphysical approach to ego and reflective world leveled up to expert. Okay. So it says needy streamer overload. I got it. Okay, so select class. Oh, I see now. So we're just like optimizing the order of things. I see. So what? Why are we like affecting resistances? Oh, you know what? They did say there was gonna be fighting. No. Oh my god. Okay, so we oh, wow, this is something. It's true that a station of teaching is prone to imbue one with a sense of bashfulness. Sinclair and Jichin both sat with a bit of apprehension as well, which is understandable given what Saudi told them was some time before the lesson started. Some time ago, Otis, who'd been glaring daggers at Don Quixote for a good while, finally decided to voice her doubts to Saudi. So what is Don Quixote, that woman, supposed to teach? Have you not considered that her usual flippancy might only cause more trouble than it's worth? You worry too much, Otis. While she may not look it, Don Quixote is extremely well versed in those adventure tales. And why would any of that matter? Have you yourself considered that fixers often appear when history is in the making? Let us see here. Don Quixote took a second to savor the moment as though she had been preparing her whole life for it, then continued. Amongst the greatest fixers whose honored names were engraved in history. Verily, let us commence this lesson with the tale of the fixer Yue Fei. This tale beginneth in the year... sometime later. Are you done? Just how can she continue to talk at such length? She's been going for ages. Thus cometh the time to test thy dedication to this class, and the knowledge that should naturally come with it. A pop quiz, if thou wilt. You can find the time to prepare for this. I can assure thee, 'tis a quiz of entirely reasonable difficulty, if thou hast paid attention in class. Worry thee not. Does this pop quiz have prizes? Aha, but of course, I came prepared for such inquiries. For each correct answer, I shall bestow upon thee from this very treasure chest of life these precious, precious fixer badges. Forsooth, I did not let a single day go by in which I did not polish each and every one of them on 3 separate occasions at the very least. I don't know, I don't really need them. Hold thine applause, for there is a bonus reward for the victor who, by the end of this match, carries more badges. Thou shalt attain the role of a protagonist in this theatrical play of my making. The Fixer Chronicles UFA. 'Tis an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm still not really... It's not doing anything for either of us. Yeah, it's still a pretty useless reward, but if you're turning this into a competition, I won't lose. Seriously? What, scared you'll lose? Is history your weakness or something? Ha! I'll have you know that I was the teacher's pet in every single history class I took. And I'll have you know that I was, no matter the subject, showered with praise from every master I ever had. Okay, that's how you want to play it. I'll have you know I was a prodigy in other classes too. I did great in art classes, pretty good in math too. I was just being humble because I didn't want to steal your thunder, Jijin. Oh, then let me tell you that I was trained in the mastery of at least 10 different disciplines every single day. And on one of those days, you know what one of my masters told me? He said, looks like Miss Jijin's finally getting a feel for how friendships close in age are forged in school. That's good. No matter now how excellent her masters were, there are some experiences you just can't learn from teachers. I tick-tocked in response. Teach the year 505. What is the historical community's consensus on the most illustrious battle that Fixer UFA is said to have partaken in? Allow me to impart to thee a major clue. Thou to pay attention as I discoursed upon. What? Oh, fuck. I touched the fucking volume slider for half a second. Why does it still say The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog are played? I mean, okay. As I discoursed upon the 5 pillages in which the Fixer UFA was mentioned, this should not be a difficult question to answer. The Honorable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven who attained triumph in the Battle of Rhino Tree in year 465 has said what was the worst ordeal she had to face in her career. I've got it. It's when she had to forge onward despite watching her dear comrades fall one by one as they held the line to buy her time. God damn it, I was too slow. Fine, Zishun, thou art incorrect. Honorable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven is recorded to have testified that the worst ordeal in her career was when she was forced to stand before her enemies with hair that was not luscious, as the supply line breakage caused her regular delivery of nutritional supplements to cease. What thou hast suggested, young Ji-chun, is that was her 17th most difficult ordeal. She's speaking like she's actually there. That impression is quite understandable, for I am trained in the ways of vividly regaling these tales. But most of these tales I have learned from books. Much did I anticipate an opportunity to regale these tales to such audience, enough to study the ways of minstrels. There was a clear look of pride in her twinkling eyes. I love the sprites. Time certainly flies when hearing the tales of exciting adventures. What was the secret technique Honorable Fixer Lysander employed upon his resolution of the case of the Fey Forest? Speak its name in full. I've got it. It's a summer night fantasia. Yet I cannot let pass such an unmotivated repelling of his super ultimate move. Hardly could one internalize the true noble spirit of Fixers by simply reciting it with such apathy. That must recreate the exact pose in the enunciation. Are you kidding me? Ooh. Come on, you can do this, you can do this. This is nothing. Illusions of a midsummer night shall devour thee whole. Summer night fantasia. Thine enunciation was quite shaky upon the word illusions, yet thou hast demonstrated sufficient courage, thus I bestow upon thee this badge. I grow tired of this nonsense. Just how much longer are you planning to drag this on? Thus muttered the hero, then declared, I shall tear the evil storm asunder and find a place for this blade at the center of thy heart. Dante, lights, left side. Good, gotcha. Don Quixote, who was watching Sinclair and Gigi Tune's two-person play, silently wiped her tears away. Bravo! Certain minor details were missed, such as that Yue Fei the Fixer was left-handed and that he had a habit of playing with a lighter in his left pocket before every duel, yet 'tis a wonderful reenactment indeed. I have no other critique to impart upon thee. When faced with great adversity in thine adventures, rekindle the memory of Yue Fei the Fixer's final duel. Remember it well. Thus cometh to an end the lessons of today. Huh? It was just for a moment, but I think I'm starting to get it. I get why she's so obsessed with fixers. Clutched tightly in Jitune's hands were the badges Don Quixote had gifted to her. I was completely absorbed in the exhilarating tales of fixers. I forgot to even breathe at one point. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking in the mirror. Let's go. Ooh, rage break. I don't know. I feel like these two together. Oh fuck. If our combo, what we're like looking for is that they're next to each other, I think these two probably have a combo because they're both like the smart ones, you know? So, we're gonna see. Cannot examine Sinclair. So we can. She has really fucking bad slash resist. Boom. This is a component part taken from the structure that forms H-Foot. This may prove to be an opportunity to conduct an in-depth analysis on the nature of the former H-Corp singularity, which has been enduring for such a long time. Huh? You're kind of upbeat today, Miss Faust. Indeed, an opportunity to study the old H-Corp singularity is not one that comes often. As there was potential for integration into Mephistopheles, I made a request to disassemble a part of the bus's engine, but was denied. A shame. Aren't you the one who built Mephistopheles, though, Miss Faust? Mephistopheles is indeed Faust's work, but not all of it was mine. It is possible that Faust may never reveal every small detail that went into its creation. I would very much enjoy a chance to completely disassemble it, even its engine, so that it could be reassembled with my own hands. Yeah, sure. Fixer Association Encyclopedia for Dummies. Oh! Taxidermy geniuses. Oh! I didn't notice that animation. So that's how it works. I think I get it. Didn't think this is how I'd get to learn more about the old H-Corp. I don't think I can do much against the Reconstruction days right now, but this knowledge will certainly come in handy when the day comes for me to gradually dismantle the inquisious thing. Day when Hongyun can be a place where people can live without fear. Without the fear of the approaching Reconstruction days, without obsessively counting their rooms to see if they'll fall or not. Until Yongyuan can be a place, Hongyuan can be a place where you can sleep with the promise of safe tomorrows. I'm sure you'll pull it off. Oh, and I learned a lot during this lesson too, Miss Faust. Bang! Well, this must be set to, repeating the experiment with a different combination of fuses and wires. There's supposed to be a lesson somewhere in there, right? Class success rate? You can fail? Okay, good. That's good. Let's fucking go. My war tales. I think that if they both really like telling stories, or seriously. Oh. Okay, so I can't actually do anything. I think we can afford to lower morale just a little to buff up the stats again. Unlike some other classes which are more on the upbeat side of things. The room's air felt grim and solemn as soon as everyone saw what Gregor had written on the chalkboard. On war. Losing a wing war leaves much larger, longer-lasting impact than some medium-sized enterprise closing up shop. It might be too soon to talk about this, but we came pretty darn close to one recently, didn't we? We were this close to a large-scale war breaking out right here. Which absolutely would have happened if Mrs. Eugene here failed to finish her ascension. It would have spread like wildfire, too. So my class is going to be about what exactly happens when a war... Oh. A piece of chalk slipped from Gregor's fingers as it went to scribble something on the board. His left hand was trembling as though the room's temperature had plummeted only for him. Why's I got it? Excuse me, Mrs. Is it okay if I smoke? Go ahead. You good? Well, what else am I gonna get a chance to show the realities of war to a wing chief executive officer's face, huh? The moments that just don't come off your skin, no matter how hard you scrub at them. Hey, take a break if you need it. I'm going to listen to every word you have to say here today, no matter how long it takes. Man, do I appreciate that sentiment. Well, still, though, I can't dilly-dally when Mrs. Yuchun's got other stuff to deal with, huh? So let's take a look at how things were at the very beginning of the Wing War. I managed to understand the troubles most foot soldiers go through and learned to get a better idea of the flow of the battlefield. And that's why the smoke war fronts were mostly characterized by trench warfare. No one wanted to risk fighting in concrete jungles where they could be surrounded by enemies at all times. So everyone tried to draw each other out to an open field battle, which naturally turned into trench warfare. Of course, every wing has a different singularity, so this isn't really applicable to all cases. It's just that the former G-Corp found flat plains easier to maneuver in. I feel like Daguan Yuan could make pretty good use of Hongyuan as a defensive fortress, especially with its internal structure constantly shifting around, which the Haishu know and use very well. Exactly. This should explain why they were hesitating outside Daguan Yuan. Remember the thumb fellas? The ones we met who were going in circles? Not to mention how the Haishu utilize the topography of Hongyuan differently. Even if an outsider were to get a read on how one of the branches maneuver around Hongyuan, as long as the 12 Haishu branches are standing, Hongyuan is unassailable. Well, despite going into all that, I'm sure we all know what the best answer in all warfare is. Not having a war in the first place. I'll be honest, I can't stop thinking about some of the stories you've been telling us. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to not only witness this, but go through all of that. We did visit your fathoms, Gregor, but that was even the tip of the iceberg. The city was devoured in smoke, its citizens in madness. He'd always shrug off those stories as ramblings of the past, but during the war he stood at the center of the heartless machine that was the city. Its every gear calibrated to slaughterhouse precision to maximize the death of its people. There he must have witnessed things far worse than the worst the city presently has to offer. His eyes gazed beyond the veil of the bygone past, shaking it restlessly in pursuit of what was no more. Oh boy. Sorry, fellas. Afraid I got carried away lamenting what happened. I forgot this was supposed to be a class. I'll be sure to prep something more useful next time. No, everything you told me really solidified and resolved. This chaos within Hangyu needs to come to an end soon, lest something so horrible could happen. I'm heading to my next class. Wait for me! Even after the two students had left, Gregor lingered in that room for a while, lighting up cigarette after cigarette without erasing what he wrote on the chalkboard. Smoke soon filled the room. He left only after emptying the entire. He left after almost emptying the entire pack. Managed to learn various detailed mechanical fundamentals about H-Corp tech. So is it gonna tell us, like, immediately, or is it just like we have to hope? Oh well. So it's gonna be 12. I think we could slap on the Don Quixote class, just because. Surviving Honky. How are classes going, Ji-chan? Not you, big bro. I pay attention in class. Oh, hello, Miss Daiyu. She was really insistent on helping me out, even though I refused, because she looked preoccupied. The moment I found out about the contents of his lesson plan, I simply could not allow him to do this alone. Looks like it's going to be another serious class. Apologies for the delayed greeting. Daiyu of the Lin family formally extends her greetings to the Venerable Hierarch. Been a while since I heard that greeting around here. Wait, what about Big Sis Baochai? Are you sure it's okay for a Shui family bodyguard to be here? I am no longer employed as Miss Baochai's bodyguard. But wait, don't tell me that we got you everything I did that day, including accompanying you, was under Miss Baochai's orders. As for why she no longer needed my services, I don't understand myself. She suddenly let me go after the trouble is over. So what's there for you to teach me, big bro? Your last lesson plan about not making things awkward got vetoed by Zulu, so you could have taught me a thing or two if we were still kids, but come on. You spent most of your time stuck in Yihongyuan before leaving Hongyuan. I don't know what you could possibly have to teach me. Don't you worry, Zichun. There's one thing that I think I'm pretty good at. My lesson for Zichun and Sinclair is... In clear, neat handwriting, Honglu wrote Surviving Hongyuan on the chalkboard. Oh, well, I don't think I need any help in that department from you. Look, I know you've had your share of assassination attempts, big bro, but Jiamu, I mean, the previous hierarch in the Elder's favor sheltered you from the worst of it. She's not wrong. Back when we had to fight our way through a bunch of sweepers, weren't you also the handful who got assassinated? Oh, that... I was wandering the hallways because I felt something was off about my room. Until Dante told us to all go back to our rooms, of course. Wait, it was my fault? You do have some intuition, I'll give you that. Looks like I'm going to have to prove myself. Daiyu, would you mind preparing the thing? You have my utmost faith, but please do practice caution. Sometime later, Lin Daiyu appeared with 4 bowls, splishing with tea, before sprinkling some powder into one of them. What's that? That's powdered wolfsbane. I see where this is going. You're going to teach me how to tell which of these bowls contain poison, right? You could stop now. I learned to recognize infamous poison like wolfsbane when I was 7. If it was something as tame as what you are suggesting, Venerable Hierarch, I would not have been here to accompany him. Lin Daiyu continued her process, sprinkling wolfsbane powder into 2 more bowls. Honglu, who was watching with an oddly contented expression, closed his eyes. Please mix them up, Daiyu. Okay, wait, what? I stared in confusion, but we could hardly tell what was going on with the speed at which Lin Daiyu swapped around the bowls. When we looked back at Honglu, there were 3 silver spoons in his hand. Those silver spoons were custom made at Daiguan's request, a must-have item for children of 4 great houses. They can detect non-sulfuric poison as well. Yeah, I know, they're actually... Actually, what? It's nothing. In Hongyuan, we are beset by threats of assassination from all directions. Knowledge alone isn't enough to save you. What the heck are you... Well, Honglu opens his eyes before Jia Jitun can finish her sentence. Then he throws the silver spoons in his hands like throwing pins towards 3 of the bowls, and immediately chokes the 4th bowl, which he hadn't thrown a spoon at. Holy crap, are you insane? You barely even checked it for... Jiran's new air tea is always delicious, even when cooled. The 3 silver spoons Honglu had cast earlier were slowly melting away after quickly becoming tarnished black. Is wolfbane poison supposed to melt through metal? People like to be thorough with their poisons in Dagunya. Since everyone had been trained for immunity since childhood, you have to make a mixture of various poisons to have a real effect. Fine, I don't even want to argue. What's your secret? I want to know too. Do they sound different or something? Just went with my hunch. Just a hunch? How are we supposed to learn that? We're not Heathcliff, you know. You'll get the hang of it after a few tries. I'll help you out. Shall we begin with the 2 bowls? I managed to tell the difference between bowls by reading Honglu and Dai's set of pals. I see. When you say you just avoid whatever felt wrong with a hunch, we're reflexively identifying the threat by reading the room and connecting it to your intuitive experiences. Aha, you were using Miss Dai's anxious breathing to clue you in. So this is how you managed to survive for so long. Listen carefully, Jichun. I know that the adepts of each high show will come to your aid with a flick of your wrist. And I know that your residence, Yan Jiangwu, will be engineered by the best craftsmen to become a safe fortress stocked to the brim with all kind of useful boluses to protect your life. Even still, there will come a day when you start to feel this creeping sensation whose origin you can't identify. And when it does, I hope you won't brush off that sensation as nothing. You're worrying over nothing. Jia Jichun whipped her around away from Honglu as to have expressed that satisfaction, but her softened expression told me that she was glad to see him worried. Every 6 days, you will be subjected to midterms prepared by the board of directors Jia Yuanchun. A palanquin has been prepared to take you to the exam site, and only by passing the test may Jia Jichun retain her status as the family hierarch. My lady. Oh, don't worry yourself over much, Master Wei. You sound like you're at a funeral. She will pass these tests with ease as long as she has been diligently taking her classes. No, I simply hope I can survive until she returns. It seemed that Wei's rather funereal voice wasn't just out as concerned as you. Wei, are you sure you're okay? I can't escape them. Even in dreams, the unfinished bundles of paperwork cascading over me like a storm, burying me. Steel yourself, for that was no dream at all. In fact, never have I once seen paperwork training me out to bear walking until now. I must be severely sleep deprived. Looks like we're not the only ones going through the ringer. Oh. None of these are actually bad. Oh, and they're actually fights. Oh, so this is like a mini dungeon. Okay, I'll fuck with this. Hey, you're one of the she-boys. We finally meet. I had hoped to fight you in the family hierarchy war. If you'd run into me, then... Isn't this supposed to be a sparring match? Why does it sound like you have a personal grudge against me? Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all. Why in the world would I ever hold a grudge against you? The results of the family hierarchy war couldn't be any clearer. Everyone even remotely connected to the mess has all been dragged away and put under investigation. And hey, guess what? They dragged away half of my family, which means more room for me. I should really thank you, right? Honestly, why don't you just declare a war against the Shi family at this point? Wouldn't that be much easier? Or it's not easy. It never is. But what are you on about all of a sudden? It's not something we should be talking about so lightly. Even as a joke. Your family was arrested because they're under investigation for treason against Dagyun. If they're innocent, I'm sure they'll be released soon enough. I know it's pretty much a given that they'll all be ruled as guilty regardless of what really happened. You know I can't even pay them a visit because you've hidden your cells all over Hongyuan. They're not hidden, all holding cells within Hongyuan have always been designed to move around in very short intervals. You know, that does seem like the kind of design that would lead people to make some unfortunate assumptions, though I'm sure the initial purpose was to prevent escapes. I recently gained a better understanding of Hongyuan's structure, so I'm planning to change our policy so that prisoners still on trial are allowed to have fixed locations. Really? Where'd you... I was lucky enough to take a few excellent classes recently. Managed to reflect upon myself a bit too. Huh, you did change a little. Still, you better not expect me to go easy on you. I've got my own things to take care of. Good. Come on, let's do this. Many illustrious fixers of the past have said that not a disparagement awaits unjust victories. Cramming is fun, right? Absolutely. I love cramming. I'm so sorry I didn't see a message until now. I've been, like, locked in. Right? Oh, we hit... Okay. So we just hit the gong, and they win the clash because they have 3 offense level up. Of course. Do you think morale affects sanity in that? Like if you enter an exam or a midterm with fucking low morality, it does something. I think that'd be pretty neat. Actually, thank you for coming in and talking. I need to check to see if the thumbnail does anything on Twitch. I'm really curious. Because I set it to something very specific. So I need to fucking... Did I ever clean that this time? Yeah, I can. Okay, sorry. Completely distracted. I'm insanely autistic now. I thought morale was just for classes, but I'm not sure about everything else. Well, I suppose we'll find out. I think it'd be neat, but I don't imagine them translating a value like that over. Who knows? Good for you, you won. Now stop giving me that look and get out of here. You lost most of your clan during the family hierarchy war, didn't you? Yeah, so what? Are you calling me a penniless loser? Yeah. You little... And I'm sure that's what I look like to you, too. I don't want your sorry every clan member who died in the evaluation to have died for nothing. If I show weakness, that means I'm making everyone who participated in the evaluation look weak. So I'm going to win, and I'm going to win without the fertile soil my predecessors have left behind, because their legacy was unjustly nourished by the blood and tears of Hongyan itself. Shi Huaxian, you are tenacious, determined, and strong of will. That must be why everyone stood by you down to the last man. You knew my name, then? I do. So what do you think? Want to make them sing your name in glory for the remaining history of Hongyan? So the question is, does it show us it from out here? Because there's no way that, like, none of these have any, like, thing whatsoever. I'm so legitimately disappointed that these two don't have, like, a combination. Because they're both, like, talking about, like, stories and shit. So it's like, oh, that'd be a really fucking neat combination, but nope. And got nothing there. What else? Although I suppose there are 12, so... we'll have a chance to put together, I'm sure. Heard you managed to come out on top in your first sparring match. Congrats. Thanks. I gotta admit, your classes are definitely coming in handy. I like your attitude. Shall we take a look at what I prepared for today? You're teaching about exploring, huh? It's going to be an indoors class? Yep, exploring. Where should I begin? It's a very big subject. Free soloing to the top of the highest building in Hongyuan, surviving 10 days in Hongyuan back streets with only 3 items. I had plenty of ideas, but most of them got denied. And rightly so. And that's when I realized that exploring isn't always limited to adventures in the physical space. A few weeks ago. So I'm just here to fill in since this game needs a certain number of players, but... really? Can you really call this tabletop game an adventure? Yet in games of make-believe, any simulacra can be made as real as... ah, what a move. Ooh, nice. I'm gonna roll for damage. Gah! Young Ishmael, thou hast absolutely pummeled the Gorgon beast with thy fireball spell, rendering it most crispy. It was a formidable foe. That was wonderfully executed, Miss Ishmael. Huh? Really? Well then, as my next move... and that's how you came up with this? I've played a few other games, but this is new for me too. I'm still pretty new in general, I guess. This is called Jianghu Journeys, or J&J, alright. It's a popular game among Hongyuan's youths. It's gotten generally positive reviews too. What Ishmael so proudly presented before everyone appeared to be a board game with numerous cards and minifigures. Okay, what do these huge piles of papers have to do with exploration? Rule number 1. The most experienced player among those gathered becomes the JM. The JM? Yeah, the Journey Master. The Journey Master designs the story around the player's choices, sets the stage for what happens next, and generally helps guide the explorers to safely arrive at their goals. That's why the most experienced player takes that role. Which would be me. Wiz, Strength, Dex. Each character seems to have these things called stats. Oh, looks like we just have to pick from a set of pre-made characters for this one. So, I'm supposed to be playing this character's role? Sinclair and Jiu-Jitsu picked up their cards with confusion clear in their eyes. You arrive at the great city of Yangyun. Yanyun, my bad. I'm so used to like the yuans and yangs and what's it not, you know? To Yanyun, a place known to be of the gathering hub for all kinds of influential people. You traveled here in search of a legendary treasure called the Tianya sword. Like, see, this it's all very strange. At least strange to me. The city of Yanyun. Huh. Cool. So why are we looking for that sword again? Maybe that's because so there's this legend in Yanyun about how the sword of the Tianya sword is the only way to quell the chaos of these lands and bring peace to its people, and also about having the sword is the proof of the true leader of these lands, and so on and so forth, you know? Ishmael was stuttering and stammering through the introduction without her usual confidence. I see. The city called Yanyun must be in a lot of trouble, too. Seemingly affected by the oddly familiar setting of the story, Jiu-Jitsu nodded solemnly without noticing Ishmael stumbling right through the introduction. Well, you know how it is. The point is, you guys need to go find that sword. Then I will claim the Tianya sword, no matter what it costs me. Jiu-Jitsu nods with determination. What a wonderful adventure that was. I'm so excited for our next session. I mean, class. That's very good. From the rumors you've gathered, it seems like the Kazan Keep... Seems that the Kazan Keep might have heard of the whereabouts of that sword. What will you do? I walk up to the Kazan Keep, chat him up, and try to gain his trust. Are you sure? Remember, your whiz is extremely low right now, which means that you'll find it hard to form even the simplest sentences. What if I found a different way to gain the Kazan Keep's trust that doesn't involve sweet-talking him? Like, do I have a pretty high strength stat? Which would give me access to certain alternative methods of persuasion that doesn't require skill in speech prep? Hold on. I'll try to convince the Kazan Keep. I think I've got a decent chance at this. My whiz is pretty high. And you pass the check. The Kazan Keep looks at you, having lowered his guard. Oh, not you, Sinclair. He's still pretty wary of you. Okay then, I guess I'll just stand in the corner over here, unsheath my weapon and play around with it for a bit. That's what he expects me to do anyway, isn't it? You're just role-playing Heathcliff now, aren't you? The Kazan Keep shares some information about the sword he heard. He explains that the party should seek northeast towards Yinji Mountain. But what's this? Tears begin to well in the Kazan Keep's eyes as he continues to explain. Apparently a patrolling guard beat his son pretty badly, just for loitering around the guard. The wound is pretty severe, so he needs medicine. They can't seem to find any. Oh no. That's too bad, but we've got a job to do. Since we have what we came here for, let's see the Kazan. Well, they say that JMs aren't supposed to interfere with the player's choices, but let's be honest, I would have made the same choice. You can't stop and help out for every little side quest when there's a whole lot of adventure to go through. No, we're not leaving. I'm going to give him the medicine. What? After a few turns of various trials and tribulations for Sinclair, the Kazan Keep's son, who fortunately was able to recover, hears your story and hesitantly shares what he knows. You realize that he's talking about the Fairy Yao Guai, the guardian of the Tianya sword. He explains that the Fairy Yao Guai's power grows under bright moonlight. Hold on, isn't it full moon right now? Then we should wait until the sky's overcast. Hearing that, the innkeep's son takes a quick look at the clouds, then tells you that it might be raining in about a week. Glad we helped him out. Phew. Okay, let's make sure that we're prepared before we go. You have to roll 15 or higher to hit. I know, I'm focused. Yeah, rolled a 16. With a final singular strike from Jia Jichun, the Fairy Yao Guai finally falls to the ground, defeated. Yes, the Tianya sword is ours. Excited, the party runs up to the sword embedded deep into the earth and grabs enthusiastically upon the hilt. With this we can, however, the defeated Fairy Yao Guai, who the party assumed was dead, suddenly jumps to its feet and lunges at Jia Jichun, who just pulled the sword from the ground. I quickly get between Jia Jichun and the monster, but if that crits, it's going to be pretty deadly, even for you. Let's see if you can make it evasion save. One and another one. Nope, that's a critical fail. It's okay. Sinclair falls to the ground, bleeding profusely from the gaping wound. The Yao Guai lies still, as well as the final vestiges of its strength completely spent. Sinclair! Go on without me. Take that sword and go down to the village. Become the leader they need. That sword as your proof. No, the sword wouldn't mean anything without my adventuring buddy. I'm going to bandage Sinclair up and carry him back. I won't leave him behind and descend the mountain all on my own. Wait, if that's your choice, then, yeah, the bleeding stops as soon as you wrap him up. He's just that sturdy, you know? That strike would have killed pretty much anyone, but you know how he is. On your feet, Sinclair, we're getting out of here together. Grab onto my shoulder. That's it, step by step. Jichun, look over there, everyone we'd helped and saved our journey has come out to welcome us home. You're right, if it weren't for you, Sinclair, I never would have stopped and talked to every single villager there to hear their troubles. The sword was only a symbol all along. All of our efforts and the experiences we gained in our journey for the sword were what taught me how to be a good leader. Not the sword itself. You're right. Real success of this adventure was everyone's efforts along the way. I feel like the game overtook the class at some point along the way. I don't know. I feel like it did pretty well. I think it's funny that the fucking Ishmael's game takes morality away. Or, sorry, morale. Morality? Oh well, who cares? Surely there's a combo here somewhere. I can't, like, I can't be that stupid, right? Okay, there's no fucking way none of these, like, have something. Also, plus morale with him? Are you kidding? There's no way. That's gotta be a jib. That's gotta be a fake. There's no way he's the most joyous person. In regards to every activity, involvement of unnecessary emotions and personal judgment is to be wasted. Oh yeah, I need to do, like, proper emotionless voice. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that. Then I will share an excerpt from Sinclair's exchange with the manager 32 days ago. Begin quote. Huh, 32 days ago? What? Excuse me, Dante. I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but most of us are fatally wounded, so can you please turn the clock just one more time? End quote. Unnecessary interjections weighed down your request. Wow, that's pretty bad. Did I really stutter that badly? It is a waste of time to involve emotions when delivering unfavorable news. The same message could have been delivered with merely 2 words. We failed. Let us commence field practice. Do not ask me a single question for the next 5 minutes. Huh? Well, okay. Sure seems easy enough. Suddenly, Merceau let out a cry as he clutched his chest and fell to the floor. Are you okay? Merceau, you okay? His eyes snapped open. Task failed. 5 minutes have not passed. You're cheating. This reminds me of the incident Sinclair had so desperately wished to hide. What? The one who wished to hide what? Despite your belief that no one would ever find out your secret, there was one person who got to the bottom of the incident. Come on, just what did you see? Film again. Doesn't seem very morale boosting. Oh well, at least we get taxidermy genius. We also seem to be getting a lot of rain. I don't know if that's a good thing necessarily. Because it mentioned that having it be too high was sort of not good. But frankly, I'm not too terribly worried. It seems like things are starting to move a bit quicker, which is good. So it seems like as morale drops, their classes start to go progressively worse. Okay. They have to, like, come on. There's no way there, like, isn't some kind of fucking thing there. What else would there be? so it most certainly won't just tell us. These two seem to like the most likely to, you know, have some kind of thing. Attention! Today's lesson will cover intelligence acquisition. In other words, men, you will have to learn how to gain information from people. Hey, I'm pretty good at that. You just have to turn them to your side. By being generous with my spending, by setting a good example as a superior, they'll eventually open up. Foolishness. If? That is among the worst strategies I've heard that I've had the displeasure of hearing. Do you not see how wasteful it is to spend a limited military budget, how wasteful it is to spend so much precious time trying to butter them over? The most efficient means of obtaining intelligence is torture. Torture? Ha! I'd say that's the worst strategy I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. I'd rather not waste my clan's strength on something so utterly useless like that. Besides, if you end up accidentally killing me... Foolishness, foolishness. Jeez, can you stop saying that word? How simplistic and disappointing. Your imagination falls short. If that is all you can think of when you hear the word torture. Then this unit. This is exactly a military unit. This Hongyuan may indeed be beyond your ability to lead. Well, I'm waiting. Get on with your lesson. The mention of Hongyuan seemed to put Jichun in a thoughtful mood, and she stopped arguing and began focusing on the class. The most effective method of torture isn't physical. Things like waterboarding, electrocution are all inferior. Today you will learn the torture of language. With this method, you will always find the answer you want. Use speechcraft to entrap their minds, slowly constrict around them. Okay, I'd do a cartoon gulp, but I can't right now. And let them take brief sighs of relief every time they give you an answer. That, cadets, is what you'll be learning today. To your positions, cadets. Oh. Alright. Okay, so it won't tell us until it's already started. So there's one it seems we've missed. Oh, wait, I see. Okay. It's actually really neat. If you look at the combo, they each have their own little, like, bit that they add to it. So, a combo involving Don Quixote will get an extra class success rate. And oh my god, wait, that's so fucking cool. Alright, hold up. I'm immediately more invested. Who is it this time? So I hear you defeated Shi Huajin. You would do best not to let that get to your head. He's always been our family's greatest shame. Hey, watch yourself. Haven't you learned not to underestimate the family underdogs? What? Oh, you don't know? You see, I've managed to talk Shi Huajin into, you know... What? No, he can't be. He cannot have spilled the beans on my parents'... my men are already on their way. But how did you know it was Block 32? I barely managed to get them a hiding spot there. Oh, so it's Block 32. Did you just... I did. Huh, that's way easier than it was during class. I've heard stories about it, you changed. I didn't know you had changed into such a heartless woman. Say something, damn it. Don't just stand there completely expressionless and... Oh, I see. You won't be shaken by silly little things like this. Is that it? That may befit the seat of hierarchy. However, a leader who responds with silence to their inferiors, a leader who considers them only disposable tools, is bound to rot. I, Shi Xijing, refuse to let someone so unqualified such as yourself retain power. yeah, we didn't. He already ended.
망설이지 않아. 한번
He started the battle injured, also unbreakable. That's no good. We do not like unbreakable points.
아픔. 다른 누구도 아닌 나 자신을 들여다봐야 해.
Why was he in the back? What was that? Damn it, I was so close. No, you weren't. Shut up. Did you ever really take the time to think about what might happen if Big Sister Yuan-shan actually gained control of Hongyan? Sure, it's gonna be all buddy-buddy at first, but she's going to acknowledge the authority of the board of directors, butter you up, and compensate you for your efforts. But soon, you're going to see people from other nests coming in here and taking up administrative positions under the guise of advisors. It's the small families and clans that are going to suffer first. And when that time comes, I bet you'll be saying the same thing then. I was so close. It's going to be a while before other members of your family are let go. You know this already. They committed treason, thinking they were piggybacking off Big Sister Yuan-shun's forces, when in reality she had already discarded them before it began. She's made sure that nothing about this treason's going to stick to her. Mother. Father. Now let's think about this carefully, about Jie Yuanshun's vision for Dao Yuanyan. Will it be more than H Corp or Q Corp? I see the point you're making, but you've not given us any reason to trust you either. What guarantee do I have that you won't just toss us aside when we're no longer useful? So about that hiding place where you put your parents you just accidentally let slip. I'd known their whereabouts for a while, actually. My Haisho had identified their location long ago, but I didn't do anything because there wasn't any evidence that pointed to your parents' involvement. Is that true? Just how low is your opinion of the hierarchy? Big Sister Yuan-shun made a big show of her own influence at the assembly, but I still have a tight control over the Haisho of the family hierarchy. But I thought you were arresting every member of the Shi family without even questioning them. What was it again? That leaders must take good care of those who are in the same boat as them? Why would any hierarch go around arresting innocent people of H Corp, left and right, unnecessarily making more and more enemies for themselves? I sure don't plan on doing that. What? Oh. The Sinclair of a class yet? I already know they're gonna, like, mix. I already know it's gonna be one. But it's such a strange class. Okay, well. What combo could I put on to be part of? Am I Sigma? 2KTDWK. Heh. Teaching kids to deal with kids. Heh, she says. Looks like your manager's not the only one who needs a translator. I would have liked to teach a particularly bloody art class, but that AL back here AL black hair discarded my lesson plan. Yeah, no, I don't think your lesson plan would have flown even if Zilu wasn't there, artless or otherwise. In today's class, I'll slice your neck clean if UA. But I'll SCAN you if you're a UC. I'll snap your neck completely if you're an unruly adult. But I'll soothe, coax, and nurture you if you're an unruly child. Did you guys rehearse this or something? Am I getting pranked right now? No, you're not at all. Just listen carefully, evaluate the context, and there you have it. What context? What context was I supposed to evaluate? Let the art do the talking. MT all kids. Yeah, there's much to learn. Class is about to begin. Bring the class material, attendant. Yes. Upon the venerable family hierarch's orders, I brought a child from the Waring family. Why did she run? No, wait, what? You brought a who from the what family? Upon whose orders? Too many travel restrictions here, so I borrowed the rich kid's attendant. You've been bringing her along to get you places, huh? No, I mean, just what? No, just what do you mean you brought the kid on my orders? Ryoshi snuffed out her cigarette, opened the window to clear out the smoke, dusted off her clothing a few times, and only then brought the child to the elevated platform in front of the class. The kid's kind of trembling and anxious looking. I extend my greetings to the venerable hierarch. That kid's scared out of his mind. Memories of childhood are important. They're experiences that shape your future. Observe and learn. What's up with you acting serious all of a sudden? Though I do agree that childhood memories are important. My memories of Big Brother Balyu are what... Anyways, moving on. You heard nothing. The point is, I think becoming approachable to kids here might help prevent a lot of potential future conflicts. But if you've got your work cut out for you, children of Dagyun Yuan are extremely wary of anyone who's not their immediate family. Even worse, you pretty much tricked that kid here using my name. He must be terrified, and I imagine his parents must have given him a whole lot of warnings, too. I'll give you a demonstration. Behold. Having and playing with children brought back fond memories from my own childhood. Oh. That's shocking. I'm kind of surprised that that actually worked. That was like a barely comprehensible strat. Wow, he's really taking a liking to her. Yeah, he wouldn't stop crying when we tried to get him to calm down. Besides, how she's even doing that with her hands? Not even masters a martial arts move like that. Ryoshi was practically giving him no time for any other distractions or in a moment to cry. She was taking care of that kid almost effortlessly. She was employing all kinds of tactics, including but not limited to ventriloquism, kongju, a traditional Hongyuan toy, fan tricks, sugared fruits, and eventually... Don't pull too hard. The child ended up piggybacking on Ryoshi, the fear that he showed earlier gone without a trace. Never would have imagined Ryoshi would be good at this, neat. In the exact same expression as her neutral one, Ryoshi was gently caressing the child. Well, to be more exact, she was giving him a gentle pat. But I think I get it. Showering kids with tasty stuff and gifts isn't the best way to go about it. What's important is helping them understand just what kind of person I am. Yeah, the kid's really on edge for his age. I'd start to make some progress, but whenever he suspected that I was lying or something, he'd immediately go back to being on guard. That's also because he's a Dagyun Yuan kid. Kids don't survive this place for long if they're not quick on the update. Venerable Hierarch, may I ask you something? Well, asking's free, but I got to tell you, it's going to depend on what you're about to ask, whether I can help you or not. Huh? Wrong move, Rookie Hierarch. Why say all that when TWTD? You don't get the immaculacy of succinct abbreviations. Ryoshi grabbed the child's shoulders, brought him before Jijichum, then in her usual curtness spoke precisely 2 words to the confused child, and that seemed to do the trick. Speak, kid. It's, my big sis said that when the family hierarch war is over, I can finally play it with tons of friends. But their parents told them to stay inside because it's too dangerous outside. My cousin says you're the biggest and the baddest of Hongyun, Venerable Hierarch. So I wanted to ask if you can make Daegyun Yuan safe. I want to play with my friends. Gotcha. I review your suggestion positively. She says she'll totally make that happen. Sometime later, after Jiren guided the child out of the classroom, I found Jia Jichun whispering something to herself. You've got a lot on your plate, huh? Dealing with the restructuring days is just one of them. I was going to try and improve the safety of this place anyway, whether he asked me to or not. Safe enough for a kid like that to run around the market all on his own. A place where he doesn't have to be afraid to go outside. Oh, so I just looked in there. Was that the fucking... Was that Spice Bush? That's sick. Huge success in next class. Oh. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. We need like the emotionless special. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. We got high shit, so I think we do I was trying to think which of these people are like the most emotionless out of them all. And then I look, and I'm like, well, fuck, all of these are really emotionless. Like, what? Like, what am I meant to do? Oh, so I love the little icons. That's so cute. How do they look at? Hey, pretty good. That fucking slash resist is going crazy. Oh, fuck. Okay. I think we want huge success in Otis's class just because that's like really good. And I think TCOC, then change the command pretty good. I think we're gonna test these two, like that group, just because I'm thinking there's probably something there. Hey! Omniscient Artist Viewpoint. Plus 50% to all stats gained from class. Okay, I was wondering if they'd even out, and I guess they did. All about the poker face. I think I know somebody who know all about poker face. And these two seem relatively jolly, so we're not going to get much in terms of Ji Yong Ren, but we're going to get a lot of morale that looks of the fucking. You know something? Everyone communicates with their eyes even before they talk. So, you better pay attention to what their eyes are saying. Great, that's really great, but I don't know, it just kind of feels like an oddly specific subject to be talking about, especially when we're sitting around a gambling table. Sinclair, given the time limit, this just happened to be the fastest and clearest method of demonstrating and training your abilities to control your emotions. I swear, I had no other ulterior motive. I was practically forced to do this. Ah, wait, stop glaring at us and glaring at us like that and join us at the table. I'm only briefly visiting my lady to pick up some paperwork, as there is still much work to be done. I'll be leaving in no time. Come on, guy. You know that this game needs 4 players. I'm playing Mahjong. I was actually playing fucking Mahjong with some friends not too long ago. It was really funny. I refuse your invitation. I must say, it's ridiculous of you to force my lady to partake in such a base activity. And what audacity to invite me as well. Oh, so you think you don't have a chance, huh? Wow, and here I thought you'd at least be better than me at this game. Fine, fine, I get it. Don't play a game you have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. It's a good philosophy, I subscribe to it. Do you seriously think your shallow, obvious attempt at goading me into playing this game will work? Huh? Huh? What? Sorry, Scrub says what? So wage on the table. Alrighty, the lesson's pretty straightforward. You three will work together to ensure that I don't win this game. In other words, make sure I'm not number one by the end of it. Well, that seems easy enough. But, be warned, I have this special power to read into your minds without hearing even a word out of your mouths. Let me give you a demonstration. Let's see. Ah, Sinclair. I can see the corner of your lips twitching while your eyes are suspiciously wandering over there. You're looking to form a pang, aren't you? Oof. And she cheating you. And you want this dong tile I've got. Now I know to never, ever discard this tile. How'd you know? Honestly, it would have been tougher for us not to know. To not know. You can't let yourself be anxious, sure, but don't ever. You can let yourself be anxious, sure, but don't let it ever let it peek through. The moment someone smells your weakness, they're going to eat you right up. And away, you... Using the glint-y glasses to hide your eyes, huh? Whew. This isn't gonna be easy. Your greatest mistake tonight was allowing me a seat at this table. I already know the ready hand you've got there. Oh, you do? Not bad, but you're just as much of an open book, my guy. You just need that one zhong tile, don't you? Sorry, not sorry. You're not getting that tile, because it's not there. Gang. I see. Call it gang mode so you can claim the zhong, which was the rearmost tile, didn't you? Does that by any chance imply that you somehow know the location of every tile in this game? Nah, no way. I just have the sixth sense for bad vibes. Very well. Never once did I think I would ever step back into this dark world of shadows, but... Very well then. I'll be saying this Hua side, and... I'm impressed. They're way too intense, I can hardly get involved. Guys, isn't this supposed to be a class for us? Shh, my lady. The importance of this moment could not be overstated. I see, you swapped out your ready hand, didn't you? What do you think? 3 Hua tiles in a row, huh? I see you've got some innate luck, too. Very well, then. I'll have to wager it all on this wand suit. Whew, I won. Hoo. That's a Qingyao Zhu hand. Your downfall was written the moment you forced me to discard zhong. Ah, darn. I lost that, huh? Well played. Did you see that, my lady? Hoo. I apologize for that vulgar display, my lady. I will bring some tea. Wait, Victorious stumbles out of the room with his shoulders slumped. Oh? Class success rate -10. I didn't know you could get minus. That's... fucking hell. Holy shit. God, oh. Okay, our Yang is kind of lacking. So, we are going to... That... I don't know if we've tried this combo, but we're gonna find out. I'd be really surprised if there was a combo in here, which it doesn't seem like there is. Which is fair. I didn't really imagine any of these people were interconnected in any specific way. Okay. That's a pretty good, like, combo, I think. These two are veterans, so I'm imagining somewhere in there there's a combo. And we'll throw you in for good measure. For Chains of Command as well. Just because Chains of Command is still, you know, really good. Hey, wait a minute. I saw something there. Hey! Wait. Oh! That's pretty fucking good. That was a good round we just did. I heard from Big Bro that you sent your coins to Big Brother Chew. Every hand, once in circulation, goes round and round until it eventually returns to their original owners. I also heard that some of the Wang family helped with removing the foreign powers from here. Why? I only wanted to prevent this place from getting robbed blind. I live here, you know. This is where my wealth lies. Well then, can I ask for your public support? Oh, I applaud your audacity in thinking someone who just gave you the moon should be asked for the stars as well. Everyone and their mother knows in whose hands the true political power of Hongyuan lies right. Everyone and their mother knows in whose hands the true political power of Hongyuan lies right now. With that in mind, let's say that I do announce my public support for you. I'm not going to have a voice to speak with by the time the powers that be are done with me. Look, if Big Sis Yuan Shun genuinely believes that I'm not fit to be the next family hierarch, then I'll happily remove myself from power. But she's affiliated with KeyCorp. Do you seriously believe she has Hong Yuan's best interests at heart with all those conspiracies she's been weaving under the surface, all those business deals and clearly skewed policies? I do not. But if you're going to present yourself as the alternative, then you have to be someone concrete enough to rely on. Let me just say that about half of the board of directors' votes may as well be considered abstaining votes. They're keeping their silence because they're afraid of Jie Yuanshun's retaliation. So your remaining task is convert those silent votes in your favor. Oh, not shaken by that at all, huh? I thought you'd get that lost and wandering look in your eyes. Still have to work on my poker face. No, most people would have failed to pick that up. You've certainly changed since the evaluation. Your growth shows a lot of promise. Maybe that's why he handed his coins over to you. Well, I guess that's not the only thing he handed over to you, I suppose. Hongyuan's tomorrow. Anyways, I should probably do as I'm told for now. My cousin will be your opponent today. I won't accept you as my hierarch just yet. Fight me, and prove that you're at least better than I am. Only then I'll accept you. Alright. What's the stat of this little jet? Bad. Very bad. Don't like. Fuck.
조금씩 아픔.
I just sort of have to hope that his unbreakable skills aren't completely fucking busted, like some unbreakables in previous combos.
다른 누구도 아닌 나 자신을 들여다봐야 해. 봉황이 날개처럼. 그 해결사의 역경에 비하면
I do like that as the battles keep going on, she starts like quoting these different things. That's really cute. Also, she's doing a lot of different statuses. I mean, she's got poise, she does burn, fucking bleed, rupture, like shit. How much can she fucking do? What, do you have something to say to my face? Yeah, don't give my little brother your crap. Your little brother? You know who I'm talking about. Do you have any idea of the mess you left behind when you yoinked that kid away? That buzzcut kid was her little brother. You can barely even hold on to your seat, but you're about to lose soon anyway, and you have the gall to give him false hope? I know it's all just politics to you, but kids really believe you, you know? I heard from the kid that you seemed relieved upon hearing what I said. Told me you were happy for once to hear that he had a fun time after being barred from playing with his friends with how things are in Hongyun. Shut up. Besides, it's not all just hot air. What? I wasn't making an empty promise when I said I would change Hongyun to be the place where everyone can live without fear. And for that, I'm going to protect my seat of power, no matter what it takes. You'll fail. Not with you on my side. You all know what Big Sister Yuan Shun's Hongyuan looks like. It will be exactly the same in essence, and will be the same for the foreseeable future. Tell me, are you sure you're okay with handing over that same burden we've carried all our lives to your little siblings? No, of course not. Wang Xingshan left in a hurry. But that look in her eyes told me that there was conflict brewing in her. Okay. Heathcliff. It's a strange one to put together. How the hell would we combo that? Who else loves fighting? They like fighting. Don likes fighting. Match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned. What the fuck is that? Oh. Okay. Right, lads, listen up. This ain't gonna be like them boring old classes you've been sitting through. You've got to leave the desk behind once in a while to learn some real-life lessons, yeah? Right. So here's the deal. You want to break their morale before their brawl even begins. Brawl? Learn this by heart, and you'll be kicking those twats' arses left and right and center. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. So, Heathcliff, I've got to ask this question. Something about your club seems different today. Looks a lot more colorful, too. Bollocks. Lad catches on quick. Why am I doing it Scottish? He's not Scottish, he's British. Chat, I'm a little tarded, if you couldn't tell. Brita. See, this... Okay. That way bloke said something about swinging around a real club might come off as too threatening and confiscated it. That high-tech weapon cries a boop when it hits people. I see. Wait, don't you underestimate me just because I'm holding a different blood. Let's get on with it. Straighten your shoulders, eyes wide open. Let's get cracking. That Heathcliff triumphantly raised his newfound weapon toward the sky. It made a small boop noise. Let's go. That's a lot of yawning. Honestly, Faust is really hard to place. Because I can pretty, like, easily, you know, put them with these two, just because this is basically the closest thing to her, and then this is her exact opposite, so it's like, you know, they're easy to, like, put, but it's just like, damn, like, it's tough, you know? I get the impression these two somehow are going to have some kind of thing. Actually, what? Chat, are we for real? What the fuck? Pretty similar. I learned the art of mad dogging and decisive action. Alright. Oh, fuck. On the bright side, but shit goes right back up. What? We saw this dude once. Fucking. Okay. Okay, you know what? Fine. We'll let him be. So, talk about War Tales, and I know someone who really likes drinking, so match made in heaven. This class, after an uncharacteristic pause, Zee will continue, will be taught by a guest lecturer who has been invited for your tutelage. A guest lecturer, but I wasn't informed of this. Where are they? I don't know, maybe they're lost? A little bird told me that the venerable hierarch will gift me a bottle of top-notch cloudy wine straight from the Dagyunyuan's brewer. Hooey. Any truth to that, folks? That guy. Just stopping by to see if I can leak some liquor at this party. Hongyuan's an awfully miserly place. But you'd spare a shot of liquor for this poor old drifter, wouldn't you? Well, you're clearly not just any poor old drifter. Are you guys acquainted? He ambushed us in our room after the first round of the family hierarch war was over. He what? Family hierarch war has been over for a while, and everyone in Hongyuan knows who the winner is. How dare a mongrel like you who only knows how to mooch off of other family step foot in here? Looks like I'm going to have to give my clan a stern talking to. How could they let slip a drunk assassin? You see that our youthful hierarch is plenty suspicious. I've been a guest in many places, but please, I'm no moocher. Put your worries to rest. I'm only a drunkard who enjoys a cool swig of liquor with scenic landscapes as my bar. The sky is my ceiling and the dirt is my bed. The man who had introduced himself as the night drifter or the drunken palm leapt down, landing with dexterity that betrayed the rags he wore as clothing and the terrible stench of liquor emanating from him. Is he seriously? Bad news, Majijun. Apparently Zee Yuanshun's bestowed upon you a new master. Huh? Big such a Yuanshun? She also wanted us to deliver the message that she was sending a master because, and I quote, I feel a deep sense of trepidation and pity for my dearest little sister, the neophyte hierarch who must be struggling left and right without a proper master. Wow, I am beside myself with gratitude. So that's the supposed teacher, this mysterious guy with mysterious allegiance who might stab us in the back at any time. As you said, the family hierarch war is over, and even mongrels of Hongyuan know who has legitimacy here. The incident during the contest was nothing more than business, a job to take care of in return for what compensation they gave me. Hope you don't carry that grudge in your heart. I'm sure you didn't harm your rivals in the family hierarch or a personal vendetta, did you? Sometimes business is just business. I killed young Master Bao Yu for they promised to pay off my bar tab, and I'm here to give the hierarch a lesson for they promised to pay off my future tab. There's nothing to be gained by taking your anger out on a gig worker living hand to mouth like myself, don't you think? I'll advise that the optics and the consequences of rejecting a master sent to us by Zee Yuanshun herself is not going to look too good. I know, it's only going to make me look worse, and I'd rather not give Big Sister Yuanshun more ammunition to take me down. And you there, we'll advise tracking your every move, so don't do anything that might arouse unnecessary suspicion. Phooey, ain't a threat. I can hardly taste the wine before such hostility. Despite Salad's dead serious warning, Goodnight Drifter's response is only a hearty chortle. Before I begin the lesson, I'd like to get an idea of where my to-be pupils are. Give me a demonstration, if you will. Swing away. Sorry, I was taking a drink. Aha, that's enough. Honestly, you know what? This is probably fitting for the character. But it didn't. I was just getting started. Your form is flawed and your breathing is hollow. Need I see more? Tisk tisk. Flawed forms often bite flawed hearts. In other words, your martial arts prowess is amateurish. What the heck, is this guy serious? I've never had a single master who had anything bad to say about my form. Your arms are straight and the legs are supporting your stance are solid and sturdy indeed. Most masters would not bother themselves to find fault there. But let me pose this question. Are you, my venerable people, satisfied with the martial arts that are made to dispatch unskilled peasants and no more? Huh? There's more to this than raw strength. Now take a swing at me instead. Alright, you asked for it. Jichun takes a powerful swing at the Night Drifter. Your mind outpaces your body, and your intent more transparent than a glass robe. And your edge is dull, for it has very little heart for feints. But he deftly weaves his way between her strikes, would fail to even touch the tip of his ragged sword. You're far too eager to strike. Focus singularly on your opponent with force distributed unevenly across your body. So you will fail to cut, and gain a little hole as comeuppance. Then the Night Drifter pokes at Jichun's back with the twig. Everyone vying for the Sea of Family hierarchy has to go through it eventually. The first kill. Some say the earlier the better. Mine was when I was 13. Not too early, not too late. Just right. It's already been a few years since my foolish brother's locked himself in his chamber. Last I heard, he was bedridden for a week after ingesting some poison someone had sent to prank him. I'm not going to live like that dumbass. Try to relax your body, won't you? You have a weapon, yes, but one mustn't singularly focus on the opponent. Do try to reflect upon yourself and relax. Let the unnecessary strength go, let it flow out of your body. Tensing up as you do will naturally shrink your mind and narrow your vision. Hey wait, should I send Big Bro a silver spoon or something? It wasn't that bad this time, but what if they give him a way worse poison next time? You know, young Master Bao, you won't accept your gift, my lady. I doubt he's even seeking the culprit now. So stupid. Zero interest in anything practical, zero ambition. What a silly, pathetic attitude to have. Just how... But my lady, it wasn't practicality that guided you when you chose to save my life over maintaining your control over the Wu branch. Some seek the state of anatta, the non-self, but what they seek is the path of Asura, reserved for the likes of blade fiends. You must learn to let go of everything except for the self. What kind of life is it? Is it to live without stepping over others? Let it all go. The gaze is the pressures of it. Instead, face yourself and only yourself. Feel how light it all becomes. After some thought, Jichun's form visibly relaxes. It wasn't just her form that relaxed. Her pursed lips seemed to have found peace as well. She's got it. Well then what should we do about you, my overconfident proud pupil? Will you maintain your grave and cocky silence? I wasn't being cocky. My memories haven't failed me yet. You were one of my young Master Jiabao's underlings, correct? Underling, yeah, however you like to call it, I guess. Sinclair replied with a resigned sigh. Just why do you think it was that you specifically, you among his 12 underlings, were chosen to take this class alongside the young hierarch? Sinclair momentarily flashed a flustered expression, taken off guard by the stranger's sudden pointed question, but he soon regained his composure and replied, well, who else beside me would ever go along with these lesson plans? Don Quixote is going to ditch the classes out of boredom. Same goes for Radia, and Otis will try and take over the classes. Not to mention what it would be like to have Heathcliff here. Such a loquacious yet list of excuses. Struck a nerve, did I? How come you know so little about yourself, even less than what I have already learned about you? What are you talking about? A bird that has failed to break its shell in time will rot within its confines. I still don't understand what you're talking about. Even as he said so, Sinclair's impression seemed more like anxiety than confusion here. Prepare yourself to flit away before the rain. You won't get another chance should you miss the opportunity. And the Night Drifter giggled flippantly. A suddenly serious attitude nowhere to be seen. Been a while since I let myself babble on for this long. Suppose I can credit my foolish pupils for that. Prepare to swing away. That's pretty even increase. Comedy duo. still a little disappointed that fucking Yuzu, what's it? I'm still disappointed that these two didn't have a combo. Scary number, Freddy Fazbear. Anyways, it seems like we've got a full roster, but weren't we supposed to have 13? Am I gonna give some lesson at the very end? It's gonna be like, you have to believe in the power of friendship or something, you know, something gay like that. It'd be really funny, but you know, it seems like Sinclair is generally doing a little better, frankly. Who would I do? I don't know. These two like smoking. That's all I know. Works for me. Hotboxed. Had an impression that would work. Hey, high G, high run. Good work. Honestly, it seems, I think every time we level up a class, it does, like, gives us new bonuses. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start focusing on individual classes rather than the bonuses. Oh shit! That's shocking. I didn't. You know what? That worked. So we can do that again to power level that. Ooh, morale's not where I'd like it. Well, I guess we get to test to see if morale and sanity are anyway related. Damn, am I glad I got my head screwed back on. It's a precious sight to watch everyone all freaking out about this child's play. All the missed news I've been hearing since I opened my eyes in the recovery room sound very enticing. I really wish I was there to watch it all. Half the family heads getting arrested for treason. Seed of the family hierarchy going to some inexperienced kid from the Gia family. Not to mention how my lovely little sister had her engagement called off and how she's been branded as a traitor to her own blood. All the entertainment in the world seems to have happened during my little nap, don't you think? You even show your face at the regular assembly, so I doubt you've any concern for the future of Hong Yun. Is it just where you do it? I just thought I'd have some fun! She wasn't there, and I was really confused for a second. I was like, what the fuck? Anyways, how many? Oh. Okay, game one fragile. Yeah, I don't. Oh, wait, look! Normally it started at 45, but this time it started at 31. Wait, that's actually sick. I think the only reason I'm convinced that that's in any way related to our morale is just because those come out as pretty similar fractions, 3145 and 6400. So I mean, frankly, that's pretty cool. I'm starting to get a headache from how much talking I'm doing, I'll be honest. Also, my jaw and neck are starting to fucking kill. But I'm stronger, so rock consumes. Guess now's a good time to do neck stretches. Fucking separate my neck and my jaw. Don't fucking kill me, you know? Why stop now? Decapitate me like my last death, or stab me in the heart, cut my limbs to ribbons. Listen, this duel's just a spar, okay? We don't have to kill each other for this to end. Isn't this frustrating? You have the opportunity of a lifetime right before your eyes and you're too weak to use it. You have everyone who fights you on every step of your way coming to you, practically presenting their heads on a silver platter, and you're just gonna let them slink away with these scratches? Get her act together. Family hierarchy war's over. I'm not gonna kill someone just because they're being a bit uncooperative. Get real. You have any idea how long it'll take for you to gain even a morsel of power by playing this fool's game? Hey, want to hear a little tip on how you can firmly establish your position as the family hierarch? Kill me in the most horrible, painful, hideous way you can imagine. And hang my corpse by the entrance of that assembly hall over there. Use me to send a clear message. And station every single one of your high shot packs between every pillar at the assembly hall. If anyone dares speak out against you, snip, chop their head off before they could get another word out. 5 days. It'll only take 5 days before everyone starts eating out of your hand. And that's how you establish yourself as the hierarch. Fair as power. No, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm here to make Hongyuan a place where its people can live without fear. I thought you of all people might understand. I remember how you used to hate hurting people, more so than anyone else. Man, what a boring answer. That was duller than even my dullest expectations. It'll only take a few years until you break, until you become just like them. Just like the family hierarchs of the past who couldn't help but ruthlessly weed out any seeds of resistance. Just how many people here do you think still have a grip on their sanity? Maybe I'm only a few years from becoming an idiot shuffling aimlessly through Dag Yunyuan. I can only hope that I won't be a slobbering mess by the time that happens. Something entertaining's gonna happen. I can only hope that it happens while I'm still sane. Pan sauntered away, but Jiajutun found it difficult to move on. Excellent work, my lady. You have passed the 4th exam with flying colors. You certainly crushed them for underestimating you. I am... My lady? Jiajutun seems deeply engrossed in thought. Alright. Round 0? What the fuck? I have to waste a day actually fucking... Bruh. My lady seems to be in a particular mood today. It's all useless, isn't it? When these classes end and you guys all leave, I'll be spending my days worried to death. An assassin could pop out of nowhere and kill me at any moment. Consumed by so much paranoia and worry that I'll start twitching at shadows cast from lamplights. So it would mean that anything for me to, prove to them that I deserve to be the family hierarch? I spent my whole life trying to prove to everyone that I have the will and determination to become the family hierarch. And now I have to prove it to everyone that I deserve to keep it? To those bastards whose only thought in their empty heads is how they can expand their rooms? Mr. Wei, have you ever heard of playing hooky before? Playing hooky? Is a euphemism for eliminating your enemies? Well, I've rarely done it back when I was in school, but when there's too much going on in your head, you just skip school and go out to play. Oh ho. I've only done it once myself after a friend talked me into it. I agree. It seems that the time for the lady to clear her head has come. Very well, let us play. Just one hooky. What are you guys doing? Come on, let's get moving. I gotta prove myself, don't I? I gotta have those bastards' approval, don't I? She's in a really bad mood today, huh? My lady, have you visited the backyard by the Luxu Hermitage as of late? Is it Luxuet? No, if it was a jouet, it would... Actually, no. Actually... Fuck, hold on. Okay, I just skipped that by accident. Fuck! Yeah, Luxuet. Luxuet Hermitage. No, but I know what happened there. They threw in a few dead bodies from the massacre a decade ago, turned the pond foul, and decided to bury the whole thing. Indeed they did. The stench was so overwhelming and toxic that the corpses of animals and plants could be seen floating on its surface, eventually turning the pond into a festering black bog. People passing by had to plug their noses or risk passing out. So why even bring up something awful like that? It seems that a tree had taken root there, my lady, amidst all of that rot. A willow. The willow tree reached deep into the pond with its roots, clearing it of the foul grease, cleansing the water. And one day we found it clear and glittering, thriving with the other aquatic plants growing within. It's recovered from the rot, becoming a normal clear pond surrounded by leaves and moss. Some months ago, they introduced a few carps in there, and when they checked again, they were just as vivacious as they were on their first day there. Would you like to pay the pond a visit, if it is alright with you? Ji-chun didn't seem to quite buy his explanation, but she followed him anyway. You weren't kidding. I avoided this place for so long. I never thought it could be this clean again. I can hardly believe that this pond used to be a rotten bog. All that happened is that this tree happened to take root here. What matters, my lady, is patience and determination. Of course, this place had slipped my mind then, as I was quite swamped with work, but the world has a stronger capacity to heal itself than one might imagine. Recovery will follow, as long as there is a steady root to rally around. After a long break, that seemed to freshen even our hearts. Nice, you're making good progress. Your form, the light in your eyes, I think you've certainly improved in all aspects. I dare say you've had some change of heart, too. Yeah, I do feel a tad more comfortable than I did before. Well, fuck. That was... Oh well, I guess we improved the classes anyway, so... Could be worse. Required? Okay. Well, I guess I had to take that class anyway, so... Okay, no worries. We are... Cut time combat, because, you know... We got... Right, class. Here's a new task to help you lot learn how to break your enemy's morale. The moment you shrink in front of your enemies, you've already lost, so don't. It don't matter how many there are or how threatening they look, yeah? Take me, for example. Have I ever turned tail and fled like some milksop no matter what enemy we were put up against? I don't think you ever have. Leave it to the nerds to waste time coming up with strategies and what have you. Listen, there ain't a problem in the world you can't solve by boldly rushing in head first. Ishmael and Otis would have boldly rushed in headfirst to shake him by his lapels if they'd been here. Aren't they the ones whose classes we're taking next? Oh, fuck. That's what I think. Neither of you got enough pluck. That's why neither of you could say shite against those buggers back there at the assembly hall, am I right? I mean, one of us did. Well, didn't say much. He interjected, but that's, I guess, more than Ji-chun did. Ji-chun maintained her silence, the old scar on her pride growing sore again. So let me help you lot grow some backbone. Try getting mad at me. No need to shrink, lad. Stand proud. Oh, fuck. Well, okay, but how could I... Don't worry about offending me. Yeah, I can take it. Like you two. I built up enough thick skin for all kinds of insults thanking my years in the back streets. I'm bloody invincible. Yeah, well, shut up, you quit. Good lad. You're hardly even a teacher, man. This class sucks. All you're doing up there is standing around and trying to look cool. Ooh, that one's gotta sting a little. That's a you little shite, is what I would have said back in the day, and I probably would have struck you with this hammer in my club. But I've changed, too. And so did you. I can see that fire in your eyes has grown. Remember this feeling, yeah? I will. Now let's practice. It looks like both of you have the perfect sparring partner in each other. Grab your weapons, the both of you. You mean us? Me and Jin-chan? I grew my backbone by getting into fisticuffs with the boys during my Bat Streets days. They break my arm, I break their legs in return, see what I mean? Is that what besties are supposed to mean? Jin asked with some considerable confusion. Well, let's do this, I guess. You don't want me to go easy on you, do you? I don't.
중요한 건 내가 어떤 사람인지 알게 하는 거.
We're struggling? Fuck. This is bad.
그 해결사의 역경에 비하면 좋아, 구조를 펼쳤어. 꽃처럼 화려한 바람처럼 가볍지만 벌처럼 날카롭게 더 이상 두렵지 않아.
This is the first battle that's actually given us some amount of trouble. It seems like we're doing pretty good. I love the funk. Sinclair's gang is fucking ass good. I'm worried we're gonna kill him.
지도자라면 동료를 포기하지 않아.
Okay, she just threw up a gang sign. Yep. Unbreakable coins. Scary, scary. Uh-oh. Like, on one hand, really glad we got that skill. On the other hand, ooh, I do not like unbreakables. Oh, we win. Okay, cool. Alright, that's good enough. Holy hell, lad, that was much closer than I thought. Good match. Jeez, don't most people usually lose steam the longer a fight gets? What the heck was that at the end? The two of them clashed with everything they learned, with all they learned up until the lessons began. I thought for sure Ji-Chun would come out on top without breaking a sweat, given that Sinclair wasn't using an identity, and the tough training Ji-Chun had as a family hierarch candidate, but perhaps thanks to the Night Drifter's teachings, or thanks to that mark on his forehead, I saw a glimpse of Sinclair I'd only seen in a select few mirror worlds. You're right, Sinclair? Yeah, it's not like we were going at it with real weapons, and the fight ended before it got any further, thankfully, so I'm not hurt or anything. Feeling a bit of fever on my forehead, though. Oh, fuck. It didn't seem like Sinclair noticed the single yet clear red line that appeared on his forehead. It's not like anything bad happened when that mark manifested back in La Mancha land. I don't know. Fuck off. Considering that Demi and his room were the only other people who'd shown similar marks, it couldn't help but worry a little. Hey, you ever run away from home before? Where's this coming from? Going by the way you're acting, it's clear you're a homebody, but there's something behind your eyes that tells me your life hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. I wouldn't call it running away from home, more like I left home because I didn't have a choice. How'd that feel? Like I was melting away into nothing. I suddenly had to face the whole terrible world on my own. It's so overwhelming that, well, I'm sure you can't quite commiserate. You've been on top of your game your whole life, after all. I did leave Dagyu and Yuan by my own volition, but if I'm honest, fuck! If I'm being honest, here's something I never told Wei. I feel unutterably lost. There was so much that I had to do, so much responsibility. Guess neither of us were ready for the world when we left home. I feel just as lost back home, though. And there's Heathcliff, too. He also left home some time ago. Paid a visit to the manor he grew up in. Heading home must have been pretty exciting for him. You have no idea how much of the journey back he spent gussying up and primping his hair. Something just came up. Class dismissed. Okay, so they lost a fuck ton of oh wait, they didn't lose nearly as much morale as I thought they would. This is good news. Okay, now it seems like these are the only classes we've yet to master. So this is all for like so mastering classes gives you passives. I see. It's actually kind of neat. I fuck with it. So what's the point of these stats? Because like I get they're important to some extent, but I haven't really seen anything specific. So you're going to teach us any techniques? It's only been a few days since the training began, yet my other martial arts masters would teach me their secret techniques. So that's got you two padding all lesson. Whoo-wee! That's some good wine. Very well, I'm in the mood. Let me teach you a useful trick. Really? Tell me, what did I teach you to do as you swung your stakes? Forget all those things that put pressure on me and face nothing but myself and my movements. And that's only the start of it. First, emptiness of sound. The slight friction from the tips of your toes, the ruffle of your clothes, your breaths. Erase them all. Erase every ripple and echo you leave upon this world. Another night drifter stands before us, but his presence becomes hazy as mist. Despite the wild movements, we hear nothing. Second, emptiness of form. To have form is to provide your foes with clues to predict your next move. Forget the weapons in your hands, forget your structured forms, break the mold, become the flow, but only your will remain. Randomness seeps into his movements until all semblance of pattern becomes lost. There's something clownish about his unpredictable movements, but they are also so hypnotic and floaty that Ji-Chun and Sinclair couldn't look away. Last, emptiness of mind. Try not to force the direction of your heart. Empty your desires and intentions both. Stab without thinking, penetrate without gazing. Both Ji-Chun and Sinclair's necks were marked by small imprints of the twig that pressed their skin. And Zilu, who had been standing next to me all along, had leaped a small distance away, seemingly deep in thought. And my neck hurts too. Guess I wasn't spared from the lesson. I wonder if this fits that saying that Yisang utters from time to time, to lose one's nose with eyes open. Immerse yourselves and make sure your descent is slow and gradual. We've been focusing entirely on the self of your swings thus far, so you should find it quite easy to reach the state of emptiness of mind. Didn't I say that one must take it slowly and gradually to empty your mind already? I'd have taught you my everything had you entered under my tutelage long ago. Am I doing this right? No, wait, I need to relax more. So our new hierarch has found herself the clue to emptiness of form. What technique is this? It's all just movements at the end of the day. I find it entirely unnecessary to give him those flashing names. A truly secret technique should come without one. Yeah. Well, it's still supposed to be our ultimate move, right? Wouldn't it be more official to give it a name? Well, in that case, whoo-wee. That's some good wine indeed. I guess I'll go with something like Blasted Sleep Unrestrained Ripples. Name sucks. That's pretty cool. The class comes to an end with an ultimate move that was probably named in haste. Zilu, who'd been observing the class from a distance, approaches the Night Drifter. Been a while since I saw someone give a lesson like this starting from its very fundamentals. Hardly can one find a pupil so willing to slowly learn from the very fundamentals in a world of infinite technological advancements like the Vey. I'm only unfortunate enough to have found the 2 pupils who are indeed willing. Your guy, your tongue. For you among the 10 blades of the east. Now, it seems entirely unnecessary for you to dig, as I don't quite recall putting anything on your tab. For your few questions to rest. I have no answers to give. Past is like smoke, long emptied any history worth delving into. POW torture technique. What a name! Fucking hell. Anyways, this is it seems like it's going to be our last day of training. So, we gotta make this one count. All stats +1. I think Honglu Ryoshu. So, Honglu Ryoshu. Then let's see which of these. Mission RSP point is already there. Okay, I guess Dawn gets to go too. I'm supposed to teach this class, but honestly I'm not entirely sure what to do here. It's not like I can suddenly teach you guys to hear the fathoms of other people's hearts. Yeah, it's not like we can suddenly have a heart-to-heart out of nowhere, right? And that's precisely why I've installed this box of messages from the hearts by the door here when the lessons first began. Messages from the hearts? The great strength of messages from the hearts is its anonymity. Here people can anonymously share their concerns of eating away at them without fear of judgment. Yeah, this seems like a great idea. I can see how everyone could be more honest about their feelings behind the mask of anonymity. The box is quite heavy. It seems that everyone's been making quite the liberal use of this. Let's see, the one on the bottom has to be the first message. Let's see what it says. Oh, I've got to ask, do those consultations even do anything? Does this mask of anonymity even do anything? Also, what's the point of these messages anyway? If you've got to whinge at their face. Well, I ain't got much else to say, so, I've got one. My neighbor next door keeps making weird noises at night, so do something about that, yeah? Something about a smoking head over and over again. The point is, it's been getting on my nerves. If that doesn't get taken care of in a week, I'll deal with it my own way. Deal with it how? It's all just personal grievances. Let's see what the next one says. Who dares herald the executive manager with such useless, weak-minded complaints? Going to continue wasting the executive manager's precious time and causing trouble. I'll personally hold you responsible for that blunder. You best prepare yourself for the consequences. Oh, it's like she's right here speaking into my ear. Never thought written words could cause hearing damage. Moving on. I don't know if it's just me, but someone's probably been spying on these papers, huh? I've got proof too. I folded this piece of paper up into a padlock knot shape. Whoever spied on it did a pretty bad job of replicating it. Oh, and another thing. My compass disappeared. It's the compass I got for surviving the hellish depths of the Bel Morte trenches. But we're going to have to re-establish some house rules soon. A theft report. Did one of you steal our compass or something? Nah, no way. We never steal it from each other, no matter how hard things get. Something troubles me. Oh, finally. Someone finally submitted a real concern here. Was it the Type A wire that caused the explosion, or was it caused by replacing the clamp part from the shattering gear? The likely answer has been found. Do not concern yourselves with this message. That's that, I guess. Look, I felt like I should really share this with everyone. This one might be something serious for once. I can't just let this slip away with nothing happen, you know? Yeah, I'm talking about the incident that happened aboard Mephi some time ago. Remember how someone smashed an alarm clock against Dante's head while they were sleeping? No one ended up figuring out what happened there, right? Going to have to bring me up to speed on this. Yeah, I don't exactly know when it was, but there was a loud shattering noise outside at night, and so we all ran out to see what happened. But no one managed to find any credible clue, so I guess we all just let it slide. Anywho, Dante said they were okay, so we just moved on from it, but I'm telling you, what I saw Greg's bug arm. So here's my guess. What if he happened to lose his balance while carrying the alarm clock with one hand? You know what I mean? I'm trusting the anonymity thingy on this. Gregor, he wouldn't... The alarm clock, broken due to shock at the time of the incident, was pointing precisely at 22:32. And at that hour, only 2 individuals were awake for night watch duty. Guys, this is turning into like a whole investigation. Around 22:00. One of the 2 individuals on night duty was, yep, Miss Faust was one of them. Hey Dante, didn't you have a brief conversation with Miss Faust this morning? Now that I think back on it, I did have a talk with Faust that day briefly. Faust made a few criticisms on my command style, and she was right, but I pretended not to hear her because I didn't have anything to retort with. Don't tell me Faust actually had a grudge against me before that. So fellas, I don't think anyone's noticed this, but I noticed the dusting of cigarette ash near the shattered alarm clock. As you know, Manager Bud, there's only 2 among us who smoke, but one of them stayed put in his own room, you know what I mean? There's a witness, too. Unless that witness is a cowardly liar, I'm sure she'll come forward and tell everyone exactly what happened that night. I shall prove unto thee that I am no cowardly weaver of lies. In truth, among numerous cosplays I wish to accomplish, was the duo of Captain Scorps and the One-Eyed Navigator. Aha, to explain the lore of Captain Scorps. This tale beginneth verily in the year 757. After a very long read, last the possibility of procuring a scorpion arm proved more dubious than one could have expected, thus I convinced young Gregor to join forces with me, to cosplay together and capture our glorious forms of photographs. Though 'twas a pity I had no pipe, only a cigarette between his teeth. Young Ishmael's compass was to be the captain's trinket, and for that purpose I had briefly borrowed it from a room. Oh, woe is me, regrettably, I'd spilled an entire can of tuna, another prop, and the compass was swallowed by its greasy juices. Despite my best efforts to restore it, the tunny, I don't know, aroma lingers still. I beg thy forgiveness, Manager, Esquire sobbed. Well, at least we know who took Ishmael's compass. Frustrating. PC, DWNN, and MTL. Is this like code? Claire? Fortunately, the plot thickens. Guys, are we actually going to try to find the culprit? Nausea bubbled inside me like I'd just been reminded of a persistent issue and I'd managed to forget. It's like someone shoved a tuning fork in my head. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I gotta be right back for a moment. I'll be right back. It'll only be like a minute or something. so terribly sorry to have left stream in such a strange manner, but I'm glad to have returned quickly. Guys, alright, that's it. Clockhead, read up. I'm gonna confront the sod and tell him like it is. If there's someone bugging him instead of waiting to his sleep. Now, where is he? Hey, nice Heath. I mean, looks like this anonymous person's trying to get to the bottom of this. Dante. Fare you well, as I, the sinner first in the order. Apologies are in order. Ever since the incident, I could hardly lull myself to restless sleep. In truth, it was none other than myself who pummeled your head with a clock. To explain this, one must first explore the sentence cuts off as part of the paper was been torn off. We're not about what exists no longer. I will not embark on a multiloquent ascribing of excuses. I write before you in shame. I express my willingness to accept any punishment you see fit to dole out. I seek nothing but your forgiveness. I can't believe the culprit was that sinner. Good thing he fessed up. Doesn't something feel off about this whole thing? What if he's just trying to take the heat? It seems to me that the number one sinner doesn't want to share the story any further. Maybe it's best we not dig into it unnecessarily. Oh, hello, Dante. I was taking a walk near here when I found a piece of paper somebody tore off, so I'm returning it here. Hope it finds its way to the original writer. Thus returns the number one sinner's paper. This has to be the key to resolving this case. I hurriedly unfurled the paper. The truth of what transpired. You ever find yourself wondering if that crackling fire-like thing on the top of the manager's head is hot like real fire, or if it would not give off any heat? Curious, right? Don't worry about Yisang. It's not like we have any other way to tell other than touching ourselves. Indeed, unproven phenomena cannot be confirmed without direct means of observation. They're asleep. Must have been pretty tired. Indeed, the ticking noise has shrunk in volume. Seems that we have just shared a thought. What if we were to just quickly check while the manager's asleep? Gulp. Perhaps the sound of phlegm sinking past my gullet makes far too much noise for this task. Yeah, well, I'm just now finding out how loud my heartbeat can get. Yisang? The alarm next to the manager. It's about to go off. You have a minute at most. I shall interface with the timepiece. Look at you rats, playing a played-out prank. That is indeed the full tale of what has transpired. Under a lens of hindsight's illumination, it would appear that I am making a secret accusation to a fellow of mine. Easier on my heart to simply assume the weight of the culpability myself. And that's where it ends. The culprit was right under our noses the entire time. Sorry, Dante. I should have been upfront about it, but Otis was so adamant about utterly punishing the culprit that I couldn't bring myself to, get to know that. Tell you the truth in time. To tell you another truth, I think I might have an idea as to why I've been made a student alongside Miss Ji-chun. Must have been something about the company it was expecting from me, but it's not showing up, so they must be making me take these classes to compensate for it. Everyone else is boldly facing their own issues and slowly overcoming them, while I'm still here feeling like I'm stagnating in place. They've been telling me that my time's yet to come, but I don't know. I just get the feeling that ship might have sailed for me already. It was clear to me that Sinclair wasn't just talking about physical training or his combat prowess. It's about something that more than half the sinners had faced and were facing at this point. About his past and the path that lies ahead, the guilt and the pressure of having failed to confront it. It's never going to be easy for him to let go. I don't think anyone's got the perfect idea of how the whole trajectory of their lives is going to be. That's why we're all on the bus, isn't it? You know, you can just shout at me to get my act together like Heathcliff does. Oh, I will if I have to. Whatever that was. You guys managed to talk it out, huh? All I heard was that ticking noise. Sorry about that. What Dante said was, hey, don't bother. I just need a quick glance at that look on your face to feel that tick-tock with my heart. Thus, the curious case of the alarm clock came to an end. So, what did you guys think Ryoshi was going to say? Two culprits. Guy with nightly nightmares and my translator. I see. Sinclair and I sat there for a moment, absorbing the awkward silence. No, shocking. I thought we'd have something to do today. for me. Finally, the 30 days of lessons were completed and the final exam was upon us. Everyone came out to bid good luck to Ji-Chun on her way to the final exam. My lady, I have nothing but absolute faith that you'll be able to complete this final exam just as excellently as you've done all the others. It is most likely that you'll be facing off against a skilled foe from the Joyeshi family. Of course, you will doubtless wipe the floor with them. I've taught you all that I know. I hereby give you permission to leave this boot camp. You got this, Ji-Chun. Guys, you really didn't have to come out here just to see me off. Still, I have undying faith that you will emerge victorious, my lady. However, Zigong and I have also prepared about 21 alternative solutions in case things should go awry, so please don't worry yourself too much. Do you have faith in me or not? Upon our return to the classroom, we were greeted by an unexpected guest. Must be very nice to be Ji-Chun. Have so many teachers from all walks of life helping her out. It had been a while since we last saw Jue Baoshai, which was during the regular assembly. What are you doing here, Big Sis Baochai? I couldn't stop myself from paying you all a visit out of pity. If only Ji-Chun and Bao Yu both smiled on like nothing happened. Our blossoming years would have been peaceable still. Big Sis, please stop talking to me like that. I didn't know you could even say such a thing. Bao Yu, it has always been this way. If a fruit has fully ripened, we will have to seize and taste its juices before everyone else. Can't just let go. We can't stand emptiness. My brother couldn't. My parents couldn't. But you, who was born and raised on the very same soil we were. How do you walk so softly, so lightly? I don't. My footsteps are no longer light. Every step, every sight I hold in my eyes as the day goes by fills me with abundance. I'm only trying to accept everything as it is without asking for more or less. But how could one do nothing but watch when we're surrounded by such fragrance? What more do you seek, Big Sis? Want to be closer, that my hands may reach you. You already forgot who sent you that guest lecture? Ji-Chun's palanquin. It's head to the exam site, is it? No, it's not. It's heading to Big Sis Yuanshun's exam site. Scoundrels! I must hasten after the palanquin before I lose track of them. We sprinted outside before Jue Baoshai even finished. A trap, huh? Fellas, shouldn't we also get going? Calm yourselves for a moment. Zigong swiftly came between us, clearly having taken a gauge of the situation. It has been too long since the palanquin has departed. It is better to move based on concrete evidence, not urgency. Though a beast seems to have chosen the latter. I think I heard the faint sound of hooves coming from the direction Zigong was glancing in. So this is what you've chosen. Yes, the exam she's taken thus far were all meaningless lies. I could have shared this earlier, but I decided to follow my own heart, as you have decided to follow yours. Baochai smiled sweetly. So now, what fragrance do you smell from me? I smell nothing. Jue Baochai left the room wordlessly upon hearing that reply. Oh, I did it? Okay, well that's a strangely timely ending. Unfortunately, as it would happen, I will have to go for the time being because it is a school night and my parents will get really, pissed if I stay up much longer just to play games. So I'm afraid this is where I will be forced to leave you all. And, yeah. I hope you all had a wonderful time watching. I hope you all have a great night, day, whatever time, whatever thing it may be for you. And, yeah. Y'all have a great night. Alright.